Derp, you're gonna have to keep your clothes on this channel that time, dude.
Chris, let me ask you a question. You got to see a little bit of football, man. How was your experience watching the football, man?
I thought it was cool, man, when they were slam dunking and doing all that stuff. I thought it was really, really cool, man.
Sporting all up and down the field and shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, since I never watched football and shit. No, I thought it was actually really good. Everything was solid, man. I mean, I know that. I even liked I even saw the halftime show. I thought it was really good. So, I mean, again, a lot of people,
now we understand. Now we know why.
Now we understand why.
Now we got it. Okay,
I thought it was cool. It was all right. Everybody forgets that Janet Jackson once popped a boob out, and people.
Okay, first of all, ain't nobody forgot.
The hell we did.
Nobody forgot.
We did.
That was like a whole childhood, man. I was a teenager.
We got that locked in our memory bank, dude.
Yeah, I was a young man once. I was a young man. That's the greatest Super Bowl ever, bro.
If I close my
What is up? What is up? Welcome back. It's Sunday night. You're here with the Average Boys podcast, and you are here with a band of misfits. All my boys, minus Trigger, are here today. What is up, boys? First off, Brian,
Yes, sir.
I feel like if this was a wrestling show, it would have been the Stone Cold. Like Brian is back, baby. Brian is back. Brian, where you been, bro?
I've been laying low. I mean, I've been letting you run the show. Letting you get your shine. Because you know what? Every time I'm on. I steal your thunder. I come out.
Yeah, 100%. You're the better looking out of me, man. You're the better looking one.
I had to let you get your shit up. No, I'm joking. Nah, dude. Honestly, I had some monitor technical issues. Been a while, but we got that all figured out, and we're back, baby. Talk some nerdy shit.
Brian, it's been longer since the Cowboys Super Bowl appearance.
Almost.
Already
Almost.
shooting shots.
Almost.
Derpy's already shooting. Derpy Entertainment is in the house.
He was ready. He was ready. Yep.
Derpy, how you doing, man? It's good to see you too, bro.
How are we, gentlemen?
We're good. We're good.
alive.
Yes.
Alive and
yes.
well?
Alive.
Yeah.
Alive and well. And of course, guys, a familiar face. We've had him on a couple of times the last couple of weeks. The last Relic. Relic, what is up, my dude? My Star Wars loving, Lego collecting, Brazilian homie from Florida. 5 languages, coolest dude on the planet. Knows a bunch about comics and everything.
Thanks, brother.
What is
Thank
up,
you.
bro? What is up?
Dude, I'm just holding it down. Just put the kids to bed, ready to talk some nerd stuff.
Are you back in the garage, dude? The fucking
dude, yeah, my office is the garage.
is it a little bit colder right now at least?
Actually, it's starting to heat up, but it's weird because today was super windy. And
that was
so, like,
Yep.
right now I have a fan going, but the other times I was wearing a hoodie and I was dying here, like my toes were like getting some frostbite.
You guys have some fucking nerve, bro.
Oh, you're like freezing over there, right?
It's been 5 degrees over here. Get the fuck out of here. What are we talking about?
Dude, but here's the thing. I'm from Brazil, even though I grew up here. Like, I got acclimated.
Boo-hoo.
So just one little
last
breeze,
week,
I'm dead.
Last week it was like 2 degrees and it felt like negative 12 degrees. You guys wouldn't know what to do in that shit, bro.
Okay, I would. I actually did live in Boston for a few years. I lived in Utah.
Okay,
I was around
okay.
That kind of snow.
So
and
you have a
stuff,
little
and it
bit. You understand? Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
definitely.
I've only been in Florida for like 5 years.
I want to give a shout out to everybody in the comment section and everybody that's watching. Thank you guys for jumping on with us. If you guys want, don't forget we're going to be talking a little bit, of course, about a recap on the Super Bowl because we got Mr. Derps in the house and we got the Answers podcast and the Answers channel jumping in to hang out with us for a little bit. We appreciate all you guys. Boys, the Super Bowl passed. I was really kind of waiting for Marvel trailers and DC trailers, and it didn't fulfill my expectations. But I mean, it was still cool. We got some pretty fun stuff. Nothing too crazy. I know
we didn't even get trailers. We got like teasers.
Yeah. True.
True. Call them that.
Was it? Did you guys feel like it was kind of weird though that we didn't get anything like that?
Yeah, there was only like 11 minutes of trailers.
But honestly, I don't think. But see, you have to understand that in this day and age, in 2026, with the internet and all that shit, like, what's the point of you spending millions of dollars on a 2-minute ad, right? When you can just put like a really short teaser and like, hey, the teaser is online right now. Go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like
I have an answer for that.
Go.
So my point would be the reason you would put it on there is because usually sports fans aren't always translating to like, you know, the movie fans, the nerds, right?
Right.
So like if I'm like I don't really watch sports other than F1 and mixed martial arts, but if I see a trailer and I'm never on YouTube, I'm never worried about, you know, what superhero movie's coming next, and I see that, I'm like, oh, cool, I'll probably take my family on May 11th whenever something comes out. Like that would be the point, getting the normies, like the ultimate normies that, you know, are not into any of this stuff. That would be the only thing. I'm not saying it's a good tactic, but it's,
I guess. Yeah. I think the traffic is gonna find you regardless. But
either way,
quick question though. F1, you said you watched it. Did you watch the movie F1?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Dude, I actually did. Like I was surprised at how long it was.
It's long as shit. I like that movie a lot. Bro.
Yeah, I like it a ton because it's just like they had such great setups of his personality and like the answers he gives all the way towards the end. It all blended super well, and they didn't make it like like this. He might have been the best, but he had to be like the best with a team. Like he could never do it on his own. And that was his main shtick, you know.
I really like that
movie. It was nice. I like to see a story about just like a regular guy, kind of like overcoming himself more than just like overcoming everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like the movie.
Yeah, but kind of like, was it kind of underwhelming for you guys that we didn't really get like I was really anticipating some like badass Marvel or DC trailers. Like we've been kind of like, you know,
the only one I thought was coming was gonna be Doomsday.
But we knew ahead of time that wasn't coming though. We were told ahead of time that wasn't coming. Like I knew ahead of time that wasn't coming. That maybe maybe the Mando and Grogu was coming, but other than that was gonna be the only one that we were gonna get. So I didn't really anticipate watching or seeing anything.
That's kind of underwhelming though. Like, isn't it something that's kind of like I guess like a tradition, like a household tradition to get some kind of like badass trailers during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but again, it's very expensive to have a spot in.
Yeah, like for like Spider-Man Noir is a good example that like a few days afterwards they release it.
It works,
and people are like, "Yeah, it works."
Yeah. So
speaking of that,
exactly, it made sense. Why spend the money on the ad when people are gonna run your shit anyway?
Yeah, and actually, I think in the smart play was like, well, people are gonna start seeing these ads on YouTube and looking it up later. So then, like Amazon's probably like, well, let's launch it, and then people are gonna believe it was launched in the Super Bowl, but they just missed out, and now they can watch it on YouTube. So people were already looking up trailers, and then they were smart enough to put out trailers after the fact, without spending millions of dollars.
Good call, guys. Speaking of it, we did get a badass trailer of Spider-Man Noir. Nicolas Cage is back at reprising his role from the animated series, the Spider-Verse, you know, all that stuff into the Spider-Verse. What do you guys think? I've seen it in live action, though.
Derpy, what are your thoughts?
Oh, never mind.
Right
as I was like, fuck that movie, and just bounced.
Yes, no more. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
What happened?
I can hear you.
That could not have been better.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear you.
Oh, you're gonna probably have to move your stuff around. It's probably Derpy took you.
Should I exit out and come back in?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? It happened the last time like that too.
Really?
Like, yeah. Can you hear me, Brian?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for them too. It always happens. It never fails that Derpy's shit fails, and then it fucking knocks down poor Relic shit. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's talk about it. What are your thoughts? You are the main, like a really big hard sell on a lot of these shows. So what were your initial thoughts when you saw the trailer? First off, before you answer that, let me ask you, are you a Nick Cage fan? Do you find Nick Cage enjoy it?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, definitely a Nick Cage fan.
Yeah. Sorry, I know you guys are. What happened to Derpy?
Oh, Derpy,
I don't know.
I have no idea. He always does weird stuff. He's got to go fight crime or something, dude.
I'm sure he'll be back. Yeah, he was
Yeah, he'll
wearing
be
a
back in a
Superman
little bit.
shirt, so he might have to go fight some crime real quick.
Hold on, let me text him real quick. Where'd you go? So yeah, I'm kind of a big Nicolas Cage fan. I mean, of course, like he himself is a pretty solid actor. You know, he's made some really great films in the past, and then makes some really like silly films. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he kind of like doesn't take himself too serious, and he's always jumping at the case. He made a really good comment, which was like, I want to say like yesterday or today, where he's like, I don't need Marvel, I'm Nicolas Cage. And I was like, this fucking guy, dude.
It's true though. It's true.
But it kind of puts into perspective, right? Like, I really haven't heard of them using any of the Sony Spider-Verse characters for Secret Wars. We do know that Spider-Man's going to be in it. There's a possibility that we're going to get, you know.
Well, there's gonna be Tobey Maguire. He's in the first 20 minutes fighting the Fox X-Men.
Yeah. And he's supposed to die, or I don't know. There's a bunch of rumors, a bunch of stuff, right? But that's the same thing with like the Sadie Sink character. A bunch of people are like, oh, she's Mary Jane. Oh, she's Gwen Stacy. Now she's like a kid version of Jean Grey, even though the actress for Jean Grey is going to come out in the Fox universe. And they haven't said anything about the X-Men First Class Jean Grey chick from Game of Thrones. Like, there's a lot of like,
I can deal without that. I don't want that.
Like up in the air. Well, I mean, I like the Charles Xavier and Magneto character.
Oh
like
yeah, those actors are fine, but it's like they picked a bunch of kids that never look like adults to be like you got X-Men First Class, and then like there's all supposed to be 50 by Dark Phoenix. Like 40, 50. Like that's their timeline that they put out. And they just
never follow ages, dude. But if there's one thing that's kind of interesting is that they brought a character from an animated series to a live action, right? I think first off, I think that's pretty interesting. And
which one?
The Nicolas Cage for Spider Noir.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought we were still on X-Men. My bad.
No, the Nicolas Cage, because the Spider Noir is what we're talking about. I think it's interesting that they're taking the chance to be like, oh, well, let's get the animated guy and let's put him on. Like, you know, it kind of makes you wonder, like, are we going to get a Gwen Stacy sooner or later? Are we going to get the chick with the mech, the Spider mech, Spider Ham? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like Roger Rabbit or something? Like, you know what I mean?
Like I hope it's just a one-off. I don't want Spider Noir to get into time travel and dimensions and like the animated stuff. I'm okay with that. And I just hope, like,
have you seen a Sony Marvel movie before?
Well, me or last week?
Where the fuck do you think we're going? Where do you think we're going?
It's because Amazon has the rights, right? But Amazon is not connected to like Spider-Man Noir.
Amazon has the rights to what?
To do Spider-Man Noir. That's why it's on Amazon.
It's still a Sony. It's still a Sony product, though.
Yeah, but without Amazon and Sony approving Spider-Man Noir to be in anything else, it's kind of like Paramount with the Incredible Hulk.
Amazon is just distributing this. It's just a platform to put it on. The people that that decide where this is going when it comes to the characters and all that stuff is Sony. So that's the reason why the Sony universe is such a disaster. That had no one else. Like, there's no one else to blame besides Sony for the disaster that's been the Sony universe.
No,
like,
I totally agree. But it's like Daredevil Netflix, right? They actually had to cancel the show because every platform they have certain rights when it goes to their platform, in terms of where the show can go. So if Amazon says no, we don't want, Spider-Man Noir in any other universe, then they have to cancel it first, and they have to default on the contract. So therefore, Sony has to buy out the rest of their contract so that they can add Spider-Man Noir in a different platform with different rights. Because that's the point.
I don't know how that works. Because again, that's just a platform. Amazon is just a platform. They don't own any part.
So is Netflix and Disney owned Marvel, and they owned all those characters, Daredevil, Punisher. But since it was on Netflix, then they could hint at it's possibly in the same universe, but they couldn't explicitly say it's part of the MCU. And then they saw the success towards Endgame, and then canceled it when Disney Plus was coming out, canceled all the shows, and put it onto Disney Plus. So therefore, Netflix no longer has a say what
don't know.
happens to it.
Well, Netflix never had a say. That's what I'm saying. Like Netflix never had a say on any of this shit. Like they got the rights to produce this. Like Disney is the top dog. They're the ones that write the shit. They're the ones that make it. And then if Netflix, hey, if you want to put it on your platform, you got to pay us for that. That's cool. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you don't tell us where this goes or what happens to
so in terms of storytelling, there's elements to it, right? So let's say Netflix with Daredevil, they can't go to the production company and say, you need to do it this way, you need to make it political leaning, you need to make it connected to the MCU, they can't necessarily do that, but they can withhold it going anywhere. So then they have the right for the amount of time that that's supposed to be on their platform.
That's just the contract that they have with it. Like I said, like they have the distribution rights. Yeah. So they have a contract with Disney saying, hey, we have the exclusive right to have this show. So so this show is only going to be on our platform. The same thing with Amazon and Starting the War. That is the extent of their ability to dictate whatever happens with this show. They have nothing else to do with this. Sony, again, that's going back to my original statement. You said that you don't want certain aspects to happen, and I'm like, have you seen a Sony movie before? Like that's what they do. But
it kind of makes you wonder, right?
They do.
No, yeah, like I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm saying,
and Amazon has nothing to do with that.
My fantasy world hope is that it stays a one-off thing.
Okay.
Because that's I'm not saying that that's what's gonna happen. I'm saying this is like, I hope, I dream, I pray that it stays off its one-off thing.
So you want it to be like Sony's version of what is it, Man Wolf, or what was the one that they did for fucking Marvel? What is it?
Like something at night.
Yeah,
Werewolf at Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
like you want something like that where it's kind of like that one-off, kind of like, you get a couple, like a mini series or something that they just put out and throw out.
Just its own thing, like don't connect it to Peter Parker in the future. Don't connect it to nothing. Just like keep it pure to what it is. That's what I want. Not saying I'm gonna get that. Yeah. Me
and Brian were talking about this a while back, and I was telling him that I think it would be an interesting concept if we ended up getting like some like version of the Web Warriors in Doomsday. Like, because there's so many different teams, 2 Avengers, fucking X-Men, then you got the weird young kid Avengers or whatever.
Well, the rumor is that they're trying to reboot the entire MCU, and that's the whole point of this. That's the point of Secret Wars and Doomsday is like literally
You're gonna get everything a reset and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So but like, you don't think that there's like a really cool possibility with the introduction of a live? Because that's a huge move, dude. Because like,
well, I mean, I think it's a cool possibility. Nowadays? I think it's a cool possibility. I just don't think Disney and Marvel know how to, with the people that are in charge, know how to execute these cool possibilities. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe. Like, I love to be proven wrong. Like, I want to watch a movie that's going to be great, but I do believe Doomsday is going to crash and burn. I believe it's going to be a terrible movie. Like they haven't
crazy.
They haven't shown other than Wonder Man, which is a comic that I would say it's like a D-list character.
Yeah, it's super risky.
Comics, that's the only one that like they've allowed people or whoever was in charge to be like, okay, we're going to like stick pretty close to source material, but also have good writers. And then everything else was like, hey, we have WandaVision, we have this Hawkeye but not Hawkeye show, we have all this stuff, and they just ruin all the characters. Then we forget Eternals and Shang-Chi exist. And they butchered those. We had Thor Ragnarok, like they screwed up Thor for like
you didn't dig Shang-Chi?
I thought it was freaking terrible.
For real?
Awful, man.
I disagree.
Terrible.
You have to let us know why. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think Shang-Chi's like not a good character at all. Even in the comic books, he sucked.
Well,
like,
I
he's
think
just a dude that knows kung fu and
yeah, I think
he teaches Spider-Man, which is dope. He teaches people martial arts, and
I think they could have kept him grounded and being like the underworld of Asia, and with like kind of like connecting it with Iron Fist. Like, I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, well,
But
Madripoor and all that other stuff, right?
yeah, because they're even though we never really see it, but they're kind of worlds intertwined with all the mythical and stuff with the 10 rings and all that. But I just thought it was super convenient. Shang-Chi is a really dumb character. Like his dad watched his wife is alive by the end, right? And he goes to her funeral when she's dead, and he didn't see it through to bury his wife. He just walked away, and then just his wife happens to be alive. Like you're not gonna know that for however many years. That's a pretty crazy thing to do. It was pretty stupid of how he didn't know his wife was alive.
Yeah, I
and
mean, it's
then
kind of like
and then
like a MacGuffin, kind of like
no, and then like his
like the
like
villain,
his
right?
daughter or his sister like knows kung fu pretty much through watching YouTube videos. Like, oh, I don't have to train. I could just watch that guy do a bunch of fights. Like, I don't watch UFC and think I could beat up everybody that is a mixed martial artist. I didn't gain any skills from watching UFC or Pride or MMA. Like, I didn't gain any of those skills. I actually got to go train. And she never got to train and just watched it and was like, oh, I know mixed martial arts now. And then she has this whole underground freaking fight club that she has not only the resources, but they could contain the abomination. And then all of a sudden everything collapses and the abomination couldn't destroy that cage. Like,
Well, I don't think that they were there to to restrain him. He was like a part of the gimmick. So like he was like, I mean, even in the She-Hulk show, he's just a dude that's like, hey, bro, like I just got my nuts out. Like, can we just talk? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's super he's super neutered in that show too.
Yeah, it's a retcon of what they did in the Incredible Hulk. Like, why even bring back the same actor if you're not even going to give the same character?
Yeah, I gotta disagree. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, especially in a sea full of bullshit that was that phase, bro. That was a shining star in comparison to everything else that dropped in
that was coming out. Yeah, that's true though.
MCU was Shang-Chi was probably if not the best one that came out in that phase, to be honest.
That season.
I don't blame. I'm never going to criticize somebody for liking it. Like I'm just saying, in subjective and objective, I think objectively it's convenient. The story wasn't there. The characters were either irritating. To me, like you could have fun with it all you want, it's fine. But like in my opinion, even though I don't like Thunderbolts, I think Thunderbolts was the best thing in the whole phase
in that phase,
or
right?
whatever it was. Yeah, the phase after Endgame. Like I see it as like there's Endgame and then everything else that came after.
Brian, let me ask you something. Did you get to watch the What If, the one that like, or what was the zombies one?
I didn't watch Zombie. No, I didn't watch the.
You didn't watch? Oh, you didn't watch it.
No.
It's because. Oh, what about you, Relic? Did you see the zombies animated Marvel What If?
I did. And
so like there is a
just because I saw something in the chat.
What?
Yeah, Jackie Chan would have been perfect for original Shang-Chi.
Well, fuck, if it was like 40 years ago, dude, Jackie Chan's like 80 years old.
Hey, he's still.
You're gonna get this guy a heart attack.
I'd rather put him there and give him some de-aging technology. It would have been awesome.
I think for what it's worth, I think the fight scenes and all that stuff were really good. I think it was really
the choreography is fucking amazing. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. Like that, the fighting in that movie was fucking amazing.
Well, that's what I said. I said it's good, and the reason why is because they do give cinematic homage to like Jackie Chan's like floor level fighting. Later on, they do wire fu with like the Jet Li stuff, and then they do like the Donnie Yen style fighting and stuff like that.
Like, have you ever watched Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon?
I just said that. Yeah, of course, they paid homage. They paid homage to Crouching Tiger. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
think they did pay homage. I just don't think it was good. Like when I see old, like my dad was a huge like kung fu fan. Like he has all the movies of Bruce Lee, and in Brazil it's like, like kung fu was the thing, and like he knew about comics before. Like he never read a comic but knew about comics, and like to this day people still talk about Bruce Lee and all that, even though like it's not prevalent. But I like those movies, and then your like IP Man and
Ip Man.
Ip Man, yeah.
Ip Man. IP Man, that's like a dude who owns like a business name. He's like, oh, it's IP Man.
I think the choreography, even though there's cheesy choreography and all of it, like people flying through the air and whatnot, I think I think it kind of sucks that there was no progression level to like Shang-Chi didn't show any progress of fighting.
Yeah, he just
You
jumped
know,
right in and already knew how to whoop ass.
well, not just that, but like choreography wise, it's like they didn't add to like it seemed like every kung fu movie there was always a progression of how they were fighting. They were like there was really good choreography every time a movie came out. Like it
But
was
I
better
mean,
than the previous movie.
but that's
I
what
just
I'm
think
saying.
Shang-Chi
Like
didn't do that.
in the beginning of the movie, he does a Jackie Chan style fight scene in the bus.
That's what I
Uh-huh.
was just about to say. That
Then
bus
later
scene.
on,
I was gonna
wait,
say like I was just about to say that, Chris. Like I'm hearing you guys, but I think you guys are batshit fucking crazy because that bus fight scene
I
is
understand.
an homage to Jack. Like that is a
Yeah, that's a
flat out
Jackie Chan
Jackie
fight scene,
Chan
like-
fucking fight scene, bro.
And then later
Oh no,
on
yeah.
in the
But like I
tower,
compare it to like Daredevil, like the second episode of Daredevil when he's fighting through the hallway and like the cameras.
no,
all
that
there, like,
that
the-
was a Tony
the-
Jaa reference to the
Yeah,
Protector.
yeah.
That was
Yeah, well,
a
like
full
the-
fight
the-
scene, 100%, no skip, straight up old boy walking through the
yeah.
hallway, beating the shit out of people, no cuts. The bus scene was
Mhm.
Jackie Chan, you know, a lot of the rolling and nothing, no wire fu. Then later in the tower, you get all the wire fu, which was like the old school Jet Li, Fong Sayuk, old school movies, like back in the day when he would like jump, you know, crouching, like at least I said, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, bamboo trees, fucking going off wire or going off bamboo and coming back on the building. That was very much Jet Li stuff. And then later on at the end of the film, he had fucking Dragon Ball Z. This dude was flying fucking 40 feet in the air to shoot a dragon with a bunch of rings. Like you had a lot of fight progression. Because my biggest thing was when that movie ended, I was like, well, fuck, what are they going to do with him next? Like now he has the 10 rings, which is like, that's the biggest thing in his character arc in the comics is that he acquires his 10 rings and becomes the in charge of the hand or whatever the fuck it is. But that's it. Like it's
my
already at the end
issue
of this
was
movie.
my issue. They kept throwing stuff in there that just became useless. Like they threw dragons in there. Great. What are they gonna do? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
It's like the problem with that movie, whether you like it or not, is like there were so many things that they could have done that they showed. I'm not saying like things that they didn't show. They literally put it in the movie, and then it was just there as a prop piece instead of something to do with the story. Like and they didn't, like most of the movies that they do now is they don't let you sit with the emotion. They always got to make a joke right after. They got to cut to the next scene. It doesn't allow you to like, oh, this is a sad scene. Now the audience could be sad. It's like, this is a sad scene, and then let's do something else with it. Let's make it action right after.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I hear you guys. I respect everyone's perspective on this, but Shang-Chi got a 92 Rotten Tomato score on the fucking critics and a 98 from the fucking from the fans. From the
I mean, but what was it surrounded by? Multiverse of Madness and a bunch of Hawkeye shows.
The Rotten Tomatoes score has nothing to do with any other. I'm just letting you know that like it was universally loved by critics and by regular people. It's not.
I don't think so. Like Rotten Tomatoes has like I don't think it's a trustworthy site. Hasn't been trustworthy for a long time.
Back when Shang-Chi came out.
Even back when Shang-Chi, like I remember when Shang-Chi came out.
Now I understand.
And there was like a ton of YouTubers calling it out that they would put a review, and then the review would be taken out. You know, like
10,000 verified views though.
Yeah, but verified. So where's the reviews that aren't verified? That's like a fan just throwing in there because to get verified, there's a whole process to it.
Well, that's the whole point. You have to be
verified. I'll throw it out there.
So to me, like verified is like other types of
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'll just put it out there. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It got review bombed by the critics saying it was shit, but it still made a fuckload of money. Still made a fuckload of money, and the fans.
I don't see the correlation.
A good point would be Endgame. Endgame objectively is a garbage movie, but it did a ton of money, and it what they accomplished getting all those characters together. It's amazing, but with the story and everything, it's a mess. It's not a good movie, and it's not even very memorable. You have to, like, I think since it's been out, I've watched it maybe 3 times, mainly because I wanted to talk about it again and see if I actually was I wrong about this? But it's not a movie that I actually want to go gravitate back towards, you know.
But that's self gratification. That's like you're on your own.
No, because me personally, I'm not.
Times. I've seen it a fuckload of times.
But when I break
I don't
it
look at it
down,
as a movie. I look at it as an event. I think it's like more of an event, more a cinematic event, more than it is just a film.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's like a film that will stand the test of time. Like I think the story's all over the place. It's not
Endgame
written
will
well.
not stand the test of time.
Yeah,
I
people
think-
don't people mention Endgame, but they don't talk about Endgame. Like Lord of the Rings, everybody still talks about it to this day. They
That is
break
the
down
bar.
the lore.
That is the no.
know?
That is the bar that we've been holding the MCU standard to since it came out. So like again, I gotta disagree with you on that one. Like even you said,
I think
even-
Infinity War is the bar.
even you said that there's only been one movie since Endgame that you thought was the best, and so that's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just taking your words at face value.
No, I said I think
give-
the
I give-
best
I give-
in the MCU, like No Way Home was a Sony product, and I think that was the best one. But the first 40 minutes is kind of like it's jokey, Disneyfied stuff, you know. And even that, like this, like even though I really like that movie, the story is kind of it doesn't really make sense. Like there's characters there that didn't really, if you take them out, the movie doesn't change. You know, like like MJ and
Ned.
what's his friend?
Ned.
Like if you take them out, Ned, yeah, they're not really consequential to the film.
I just have a hard time wrapping my head around a movie that made $2 billion, not a movie worth seeing more than I don't know.
Well, like for instance, Captain Marvel made $1 billion, and it's a freaking crappy movie, crappy character.
And I disagree. I think it's
because Brian actually likes
I think a lot of people like the well. It seems to me like you don't like any movie, but like but I think a lot of people just like shit on that movie for no reason because of Brie Larson or whatever. But
because of Brie Larson's personal stuff, right?
It's not a bad movie if you actually just take it and just watch it for what it is. And again, you can get $1 billion. The MCU was on fire, and that was the movie leading up to
I think it made $1 billion because
the Endgame. So that's the reason.
Endgame.
So you can have that as the excuse as to why it made $1 billion. But 1 billion is one thing. To make $2 billion, bro, like that's not a.
Is that No Way Home? No Way Home made 2 million, 2 billion.
No, Endgame.
No Way Home did 2 billion as well.
Okay.
Or no, it made 1.7.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't quite.
But Endgame, the only reason it made 2 billion is because they prolonged it in theaters, and then they promised 6 months later that they were going to release another cutscene, which was just a crappy CGI, unfinished product of the Hulk, and that I think brought a lot more people to it because they needed it to be the biggest thing ever.
It's a 3-hour movie, dude. So
yeah, I was gonna say again,
it's a 3-hour movie. So people that saw it multiple times spent 6, 9, 12 hours in the fucking movies. I'm having a hard time understanding that if a movie is slop and it's not really good and people aren't gravitating towards it, that they're gonna spend that much time in a movie theater watching a movie. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. Do you guys remember before Infinity Wars, they used to have theaters that would show like, hey, come see every Marvel movie that he's up to. Dude, that was like fucking 3 days in the movie theater, dude. People were already fucking accustomed to being in there for a long time.
Yeah, and like my point is this: look, when I watched Endgame, I was like, man, this is the greatest film ever. And then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, let me go watch it again. You know, and then I started thinking about it more. I'm like, this is actually a jumbled mess. Like the more I talked about it with other people, it's like, wait, this doesn't make sense. The way they do the time traveling, like I think they made Iron Man back to like the douchebag that he was in the first movie. It's like, oh, and like his lines implicate that he knows how to go back 5 years previous and bring everybody back. But he just pretty much said like, no, I want everybody they have to come back now. So the world has to stay in this suffering state just because of my daughter, which is like, fine. Yeah. Like you got a daughter, but you can also just bang your wife at the same time that you did to conceive your daughter once again, but you can actually fix the world.
Well, it's a multiverse, so it changes. Like it doesn't keep happening over.
Well, like with Doctor Strange, he messed with the time stone, right?
Yeah.
So the time stone already shows that like it won't mess with the TVMA stuff, and he could have just literally all he needed to do is get the time stone, and that's it.
And that
didn't
what
need any
Adrian
of the
just
other
put up
stones.
right now is I think what you guys are overlooking is the fact again, if you look at it as a film, yes, it has its flaws. But if you look at it as a cinematic event that has never been done, 10 years, and I know you mentioned the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings done amazing shit, but it stopped at a trilogy and then it redid instead of the trilogy. You're looking at something that did a continuous story for 10 years straight and pulled it off extremely well. Even if
I think their accomplishment is probably the best cinematic,
and that's the rewatchability that you're saying doesn't have. That's exactly what it is. It has the same fundamental value as the Lord of the Rings because, or even Star Wars, where you're gonna be like,
so. I don't think so.
Yeah, you're gonna when your kids are coming up, you're gonna be like, yo, watch these movies with me. Your kids are gonna want to see Captain America. They're gonna want to see Thor, and then you're gonna want to build them up, and you're gonna get them to see Infinity War, and then you're gonna be like, all right, cool, time out. You don't gotta watch the rest of this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like at Endgame, you're gonna be like,
probably do that.
All right, chill. Like, you won't let them go past that. But that first 10 years. It was such an amazing thing to live through as a comic book fan. And I think that's what the rewatchability is. Like, that's the rewatchability. You like earlier you said like, yo, well, Captain Marvel, you won't watch it. The reason why I think Captain Marvel failed, in my opinion, and it didn't fail because it made the money, is the point in when they tried to force her in, they tried to shoehorn her in to the story. And then it's been in a time frame that they're trying to push on like a big like woman-esque is the woman boss mentality. The character was never successful in the comics. It just didn't work. And again, I think me and Brian, we've had this conversation because again, Brian likes the character and I don't have anything against Captain Marvel, the film. I think it's cool. It's funny. It's witty. I like the villain guy with the fucking sippy cup, the alien dude. I fucking loved him in all the shit that he does. But it's not like I'm not thinking it's fucking breaking boundaries or anything. She's not the first heroine female character I've ever seen in a movie, but in the overarching story, like it's Captain Marvel, bro. Like, name me a comic book that you love as much as a Captain America or a Thor comic. You're not gonna name me shit. You're gonna name me where she's a bitch. Like, just name Miss Marvel story that she's just a bitch, dude. Like she's the only time that she was cool when the guys liked her was when she was in a hot ass suit with a lightning bolt.
Well, that's when she was Miss Marvel. She wasn't Captain Marvel.
Yeah. But
because we had Captain Marvel in the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's the same
shit. That was retcon, and then in the movie they made it a woman, Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Again, and look at how it fucking made everybody mad. And no one liked that character. That character ain't coming back, dude. That fucking Marvel character never coming back in the fucking movies. Like, I guarantee it was like the Morbius movie. They looked at it and they were like, man, I think we really fucked up. Or the Craven movie. The Craven, they're looking at it, they're like, fuck. Dude,
just anything that Fox really did.
fucking Marvel hits up Sony and they're like, hey, do you have any characters that we can kind of put in these Doom movie kind of fucking? They look at fucking Michael Keaton as the fucking Vulture. They're looking at fucking Craven the Hunter. They're looking at Morbius and they're like, nah, we don't really have anybody. We'll put Nicolas Cage in a black and white costume. You know what I mean? They ain't got
like, for instance, well, like, I guess so people can understand my point of view. It's if you take Homecoming, I don't like that movie, but I do believe it's objectively a well-written movie. I think they took a character from the comics like Vulture and made him a better character in the film, because Vulture, like, how did he get his powers? Like, there was that whole North Pole, South Pole thing. Like, nobody knew science who was writing that comic. And then they made this character with Michael Keaton, and it's not because I love Michael Keaton, but it's like he understood his place. He's like, dude, we don't want the Avengers crashing down on us. So, like, we got to know how to steal, how to do all this stuff. We got to be tactful. Like, they really made him a true villain that understood his place. They, like, the progression of Peter Parker, I think there was, like, a little too many retcons. And I'm not a big fan of seeing Spider-Man in high school for too long and then going from that, like, the chick that he liked to that MJ, and then she's just, like, a douchebag to him, and he falls in love with that. Like, I have issues with it, but that movie itself, like, it has really good writing, but I just don't like the movie. And I like movies that have terrible writing, but I enjoy the movie. Like, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is my guilty pleasure. I love that giant piece of garbage, but that's what it is. It's a piece of garbage. I love it, though.
Yep, I like Starship Troopers.
I don't think Starship Troopers is as bad as you think.
It's not good. It's not good. If you're drinking, it's fantastic. But if you're like watching it
Yeah.
as for film quality, you're gonna be like, "This is fucking shit silly, dude. This shit's
Hmm.
fucking silly." Yeah, but League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a great movie. Brian,
Sir.
what are your thoughts on this, man? What are your thoughts on? I know you don't agree on a lot of it.
His thoughts is he thinks I'm crazy.
What?
Crazy's
No,
good,
I
though.
think we're all,
Crazy's good.
I think we're all crazy. Honestly, I don't mind your takes. I just personally have never heard someone downplay Endgame, which it took me through a shock. But listen, man, you're all entitled to your. I just said that I like fucking Captain Marvel, so it's like I'm kind of in the minority
Yeah.
here. I'm fully aware of that. I just never heard someone downplay Endgame. That was a new one to me. I've heard. Now listen, you have to understand that Chris is my co-host. So I've heard him dunk on every fucking Marvel
Every
show.
fucking film, bro. You
Yeah.
should have seen the fucking crash out I had on Ironheart, dude.
Yeah, so there's
Oh, I hate
very
Ironheart.
little.
That's a
Yeah,
piece of
Yeah,
garbage.
there's very little that that can surprise me. But you hit me with a unseen one
With a
before.
curveball.
I didn't see that one
Yeah.
come before. So.
Like I love to break down Endgame, like to a point of logic and like what, like I think, like again, I'm not gonna take away from its accomplishment. It is a great accomplishment, but like I think, and I try to not compare it to the comics, right? Like it's its
Can't.
own thing, isolation in this movie, but because it has this 10-year background of all these other characters, I think a lot of characters didn't act like themselves. I think it was stupid to make Thor fat. Like, he's 1500 years old and he can't, like, if you're 1500 years old and you can't figure out your purpose in life, it's time to swallow a double barrel shotgun, like
Oh yeah, I think
it's
you
over
said that
for
the
you,
last
man.
time. That was kind of fucking
Yeah,
funny.
like it's like a vampire. If a vampire isn't rich after 300 years of trying, like you're just step out in the sun. You know what I mean? That's why we see vampires.
It's kind of
rich.
funny, actually.
Yeah,
That's kind of
so-
funny if you think about it. Yeah.
So like Thor, and I didn't know that his metabolism as a god just changes. Like I always saw it in the comics, even in the cartoons, like he can gorge and eat and like go nuts on whatever, and he's not gonna turn into some fat slob. And the way they portrayed him from Infinity War was like, okay, he's figured out his purpose, even though he lost, like he still has responsibility to the Asgardians that are still alive. He still needs to be king, and he's just kind of throwing that. And then Valkyrie, he barely knows Valkyrie with the timeline. He doesn't really pay attention to her. He doesn't know what she wants to do, and then just looks at Valkyrie like, yeah, you could take charge of Asgard. And it's like, I just don't believe that Thor would shirk his responsibilities because he's in his feelings for 5 years. And I don't believe, even though I don't like Thor Ragnarok, I don't believe that his friend, whatever his name was, the
Korg.
stone dude, Gord, I don't believe he would allow Thor to deteriorate and not help his people prosper.
I gotta
You know
say
what I
this
mean?
really quick to Adrian in the comments. He's saying that Endgame is not a 10 out of 10. It doesn't have to be. I don't think that was the point of Endgame. The fact that I'm sure that everyone
Mhm.
here and everyone in the comments has seen that movie more than once is an accomplishment. That's the end game.
Yeah.
That like no pun intended. Like that is the goal.
Well,
Everyone
I'll
here-
add this to it. Even though it may not be a 10 out of 10, it is the last movie that you heard an entire theater scream out loud when
Yeah,
Thor
exactly.
said Avengers Assemble and when he grabbed
Yeah.
the hammer.
Yeah,
That was
You
like
mean
the
Captain
last
America?
time in
You
history.
mean Captain America?
Whoever the
Yeah,
fuck it
that
is.
Well,
is-
the
that
only
is-
time in history he said
Not
it.
Captain America no
That-
more. It's just Steve Rogers.
That's
No,
kind
no,
of
Steve
that's
Rogers
kind
is
of
Captain America.
that's kind of piggybacking off of what I'm saying is like the intended result was met.
We
So,
got it. Yeah.
It might not have been a 10 out of 10. It may be a 8.5 out of 10, but the desired effect was it was executed.
Spider-Man No Way Home. 2 billion or 1 point whatever $1 billion movie. I thought when fucking Aunt May got fucking hammered, I was like, the fuck am I watching, bro? Like, why did Aunt May get killed? She's like, she grows old. Why is this chick dying now? Like I was in the same boat as you. Like I thought there was some silliness. I thought there was a lot of nostalgia baiting. I thought they were like really just like
Yeah.
they were putting all these characters in and it was just silly. Like they were like, oh look, we did the meme in the elevator with all the fucking Sinister Six. And I'm like, bro, you're not writing a coherent story. Stop. Like, I don't care about the memes. Like fucking we're watching a geriatric Green Goblin beat the shit out of like a prime Spider-Man. Like, what the fuck am I watching? You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. But the movie proved me wrong a million over by making that much money.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think money's an indicator that people watched it.
Money's
right?
success. I don't give a
And
fuck.
I don't
what
think
money
it's
is
an indicator
success.
of success.
There's some
Because-
movies out there that are fucking
like-
trash and they didn't make money.
Well, like if you adjust things for inflation, right?
Yeah.
Like the movie that made the
I hate
most
inflation.
money is Gone with the Wind. So in
Yeah.
today's day and age, it would be $17 billion. That's how much that movie made because of how many
Yeah,
people went to go watch it. And I think how many people go watch something and then stay watching something. Tickets sold is a number that no studio, no theater put out. You know,
There's a
like,
caveat. I mean, I
Mhm.
hate being that guy, but I'm extremely familiar with this topic. Gone with the Wind has been re-released in movie theaters like multiple times over
yeah.
over
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
decade. So I get what you're saying, but if you're gonna take into inflation as an example as to why something should be more than others, then that should be taken into account as well. That it's
No,
been
yeah, I
re-released
agree.
multiple- it's been really released multiple times. So if it wasn't re-released multiple times, even if you had inflation,
Mhm.
it wouldn't be where it is.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be at the 17 billion, but the original estimation was around $8-9 billion of at the time it was released and it was in theaters. And it was in theaters longer than most movies, like a year or two. But I think it really speaks to the people of like this is how many people went to go watch it. Like if a one movie ticket cost $2 billion, the movie made $2 billion, but only one person watched it.
But I'm saying
know what I mean?
if you keep re-releasing
Yeah.
Endgame every 2 years in movie theaters, Gone with the Wind wouldn't even touch it. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think so because of what they've done now.
I don't know.
Like how many people? So like they released Eternals. They released.
They just re-released fucking Lord of the Rings, and that
Yeah.
shit went fucking ape shit in the fucking movie theaters. So
Oh,
people,
yeah.
so people will go back in the movie theaters to watch these movies. Is what I'm saying.
I think
Like,
they would go back to watch a really, really good movie, and I think Lord of the Rings, like it's the best trilogy ever made, ever. There's no trilogy that any movie, whatever you want to put, like it is the best. I think the damage has been done with the MCU where it's like, okay, think about Eternals, Shang-Chi. These are one-off movies that are brand new. Nobody knew about it. If the MCU was where Endgame was, like right after Endgame, like the second Spider-Man movie, I don't think was a good movie, but it did make a lot of money. But you also have the name Spider-Man with it. But then they kept releasing TV shows, and that did more damage. It did lore damage to everything that came before. There was a lot of issues. And then us nerds, we weren't hyping up the MCU movies because as we all know, like the best marketing eventually is always going to be word of mouth. You could have really good marketing, but bring people back to the theater, back to fandom, that's what we're going to do. You know, like if it's a really good comic, we're going to share with some random person at the comic book store. Yo, you got to read this. If you're talking about Captain America, I never met you. Talking about Captain America, you need to read this comic if you've never read it. And then that comic is sold, and then they do the same thing, and it's a ripple effect, right? So with the state of the MCU, I'm not telling anybody to go watch Doom. Doom is by far a better villain and one of the top villains of all of Marvel. And dude, like Thanos isn't even top
what makes
10
you
when
think?
it comes,
What makes you
like,
think it's gonna fail?
I think it's gonna fail because it's over convoluted with a massive cast. They hired Robert Downey Jr. because they couldn't hire somebody that was actually fit for the role to bring people back. They're like Robert Downey Jr.'s back to the MCU, but he's not Iron Man. And then all the marketing they're doing, like it's not really hitting. It's like the first two teasers, they're like, oh great, and then it was just Nobody cared. Like I think it got to the point when the Thor teaser released, it was just like, all right, nobody cares. And I think people go watch it. I do think it'll make $1 billion. But if you have Victor Von Doom after Endgame, it should make more than Endgame because it's Victor Von Doom. Like the only reason the MCU exists is because of comic fans. We liked something so much that we bought the comics, we filled up our long boxes, we went Wednesday morning to the releases, and then we told
Made it
people about
popular.
it. Yeah, we made it
Yeah, we
popular,
made it
and
popular.
then Hollywood was like, well, there's a big fan base, and let's create a movie. Let's create some movies. They saw Blade, all that stuff. You know, Blade is where it started, at least for Marvel. And then they're like, okay, there's something to this. They did some mess ups, and then when they started seeing that, like, we've never had like a big team up movie other than just a team movie like X-Men. We started releasing, like, if you look at the Incredible Hulk, one of the reasons it failed, other than its story, is because we had a Hulk before, and then normies didn't know that the MCU was starting to form. I think if the Incredible Hulk launched after Iron Man 2, it would have been way more successful, and then we go into Avengers, right? But I just don't think there's any hype. Like WandaVision, they did damage to Reed Richards, a fan cast that we actually want to see. Nobody wanted to see Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. And then they did Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four is bigger in comics than the Avengers was. And it failed. And they had like a lot of nostalgia. Like if you think about all the marketing and the era, like
Wait, hold on. What failed?
Fantastic Four. They didn't even break even in the box office. Like
I mean, they failed that whole series because of the multiverse bullshit too. Like the Fantastic Four is like a moniker in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but
Like-
you also have Galactus, and like even to some normies, like they know who Galactus is. We had the Ultimate Alliance video game.
yeah,
where we
there's a
got
bunch
to
of
see-
shit that's got it, yeah.
So, but if you look at like even Fallout releasing, right? You have that little 50s theme, and like whether I don't like the Fallout show, I don't think it's well written, but the first season was kind of like this big phenomenon. And then you got announcements of Fallout 2. So people are kind of already in that mode. Like when you do marketing, like when I used to have the store, I needed to understand which movies were releasing and then do marketing before and after and on the day of. Like you need to capture what's currently being pumped aside from the other aside from your own product. And so they decided to make Fantastic Four in like that 50s kind of element theme that's futuristic at the same time. So you got to capitalize on that stuff. And even them capitalizing it, they didn't succeed in marketing because the MCU already had the damage. Like Doomsday, the marketing for the normies, I think, was mainly just Robert Downey Jr. We got the announcement earlier on before we got any cast, and it was just kind of like, well, the MCU is not really hot right now. And then what really kind of pumped it was Robert Downey Jr. coming back. And, like now it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, Doomsday's coming out. I'm looking more forward to Spider-Man Noir and the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out than
The
anything.
Spider-Verse one?
Yeah. Well, no, the
live action. You're talking about live action.
The live action I was until I heard Hulk was a part of it. I wanted to see just a Tom Holland own Spider-Man story after they did that reboot with No Way Home. But it's just now like
you see, but that's the thing. Like, okay, so like you have a good talking points for yourself. Like you really put it out there. I have to disagree. The first season of Fallout was pretty good. Second season, there's a couple of that's
I just finished the first season of Fallout and it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Second season, there's a couple of boring episodes, but they do pick up on it a little bit better. They are giving the fans a lot of the parts that they really dig and stuff, which is all right. But I said,
I would totally. I don't want to get off topic. I would totally like to talk about Fallout season 1 another time.
Yeah, most definitely. I like to bring Trigger. Trigger's like
myself.
huge on Fallout, dude. Like Trigger is like super crazy about Fallout.
I literally
like,
just finished it like 2 days ago. The first season.
Yeah. Well, you got to watch Arcane, Brian.
Not watching.
Promise.
I've actually never watched Arcane.
I did promise.
Huh?
I've never watched Arcane either.
You haven't seen it either?
people keep recommending it to me. I
Yeah.
just haven't got around to
Well,
it.
Brian made a promise. He has to do it.
I did.
Okay.
I my promise.
He made me watch because watch
we are-
Relic.
well,
Relic.
we are-
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Because Relic, you have to know, because again, Brian, he may be on your side with this. I didn't really care for Rogue One when it first came out. I did not.
I think it sucks.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna say Relic is not. He's not gonna like Rogue One.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I ended up because I fell asleep the first time I saw it, and then the second time I saw it, about the same area, I kind of lost interest. And then Brian was like, "You have to watch it, like you have to." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch it all the way through, but you got to watch Arcane." And that weekend, I fucking watched it, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I get it.
Yeah, like with
I still
just
not like super sold on it, but it's all right. It's good. It's all right.
just my point with Rogue One. I think there's great scenes, great battles. I think there's a lot of things that break a little bit of lore. I think there's a lot of stupidity, like just the mom hiding her kid and then going off to save her husband. I'm like, dude, any mother, any parent that has a kid and you need to protect that child, like you're gonna be with them. You're not gonna just abandon them to
Not
go.
in this universe, bro. They do it twice.
Yeah.
Luke and Leia got fucking
morons.
soloed out too, bro. Like not in this world, bro. You're thinking our world. That don't happen over here in the Star Wars.
Yeah, like nobody knows
Kids
how
just
a
get
family
dropped off
works.
at some fucking racetrack, and they gotta go clean the poop of those animals or
No, and
whatever.
she thought
dude.
she was gonna like save her husband by pointing a gun at two dark troopers, and Admiral Krennic or whatever his name is.
Hey, that actor is
and the-
still the fucking guy from Captain.
He's a
Marvel.
great actor. He's a great
love
actor.
that
I
guy.
like him. I like the actors, a lot of the actors that are in it, but I just
Mads Mikkelsen's
know.
a fucking G, dude.
yeah.
Mads
You like the
Mikkelsen's-
actors, you like the scenes, you like the action, but for some reason it sucks.
The story,
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
story doesn't mesh well. The story doesn't mesh well. I don't think characters are like if you have a human with like, I want them to act like a human. Like, you know, I'm a father. I have a wife. Like, if it came to me or my kids, my wife would definitely sacrifice me. If it came to my kids or my wife, like I'm gonna try everything to save both. But when I know I'm completely outgunned, there's a whole freaking Imperial starship above the planet. There's TIE fighters around.
But
There's
Relic,
Dark
that's
Troopers, like-
boring. You're playing it safe. We know as a parent you're gonna save your kid. But George Lucas and Star Wars people are like, nah, fuck that. Send them kids away. Fuck them
I
kids.
think-
Put it in a little crate and send that bitch down the river, dude. Fuck
Well, like,
them.
here-
I get you're working off of logic, I guess if you will to say,
Yeah.
but like at
Mhm.
some point you just got it's a fucking Star Wars movie, my guy. Like you gotta let it go.
It's gotta
For-
be
like
have
for,
to
like,
create-
look.
for a second. Like I get it.
No, like I like, for instance, I like the prequels. Empire,
Brian likes the
Em-
prequels.
you
I
know,
do.
but the prequels, they have their writing problems. But the thing is, they kept the magic there. There was something about it that even with the bad writing, some of the bad dialogue, you were still invested, right?
Yeah.
Like the story, you know, it got from point A to point B to point C. It went there. Rogue
If you really want to talk about like the logic of shit, like I mean, I can pick at the transition of Anakin. Like I think there's like just
I think there's a ton of gaps. I think
that's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna
it doesn't
start
make sense,
nitpicking,
yeah.
if we're gonna start nitpicking at
Yeah,
like
you're just dissecting now.
yes, I'm saying like I don't want it to overshadow what I'm witnessing. That was that was special.
No, I agree, and I think
Rogue
that's
One-
why.
Rogue One was
Yeah.
honestly, I hate to be the one to say it, but like Star Wars desperately needed Rogue One at that time.
I think it needed a story like Rogue One. I just don't think they executed what they thought they executed. You know what I mean? Like for
Because
instance,
everything they had
the
that was
hallway.
successful was a fucking cartoon at that time. You know what I mean?
Well, like for instance, the hallway scene with Vader. It's
Vader,
a
right?
phenomenal scene. It's fun. It's awesome. But at his rank, he wouldn't be there. And like his investigating scene towards Leia in A New Hope shows that he actually didn't really know that the Tantive 4 was the one carrying the Death Star plans, and they were connected to rebels. They knew that she had the plans, and he had an assumption that she was part of the Rebel Alliance,
Mhm.
but he didn't have the proof. If he saw them passing plans and then these rebels are shooting stormtroopers, he wouldn't even interrogate her. He's just like, where's the plans? And then if she's like, I don't have it, they search her. Okay, kill her right then and there. But they needed proof that she was part of it. That's the whole reason of New Hope of why they don't kill Leia right off the bat.
That's what makes Rogue One so great and important, because you get all that flushed out in a.
I don't think it fleshed it out. I think it caused more problems. I don't think I think Vader would have if you go from Rogue One to New Hope, Vader would have just talked to Leia, killed her right there. As soon as there was an escape pod, he would have sent people out. You know, like it was like, hey, the plans aren't here, and we know she has them. Like they had an assumption, they needed proof, and I just don't think Rogue One did that. I think it has high stakes. I think it's an enjoyable movie at times. I think there's a lot of boring parts. I don't think.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, he
yeah.
couldn't just kill Leia because wasn't she like royalty? Like he can't just
Yeah,
go
but
off
then they
and
blew
kill
up
a
her
royal
planet.
person of a
Then they blew up her planet.
Yeah, but that was like a fucking war crime after that. That was them flexing that
Well,
we're in
no,
charge,
because then
imperialistic. But
if you
they
see,
didn't want to kill her
demolished the
because they
Senate
still had
first.
to. They didn't have the deaths. They didn't know what was going on with the Death Star in the first place. They were like, shit, someone figured out our fucking. Oh, someone has my nudes. I gotta stop them from releasing them or whatever. Like that's the whole point. Like
Well,
and then they find it. They find out she's the one, and they're like, fuck. Well, this bitch is like, she's a princess. We can't just for fucking. This planet is still around and it's part of the council.
That's why.
And then by the time that they were like, yeah, you know what? Like just fuck that planet. Like it's just a bunch of.
Yeah, well,
pussies
they were
anyway,
already going to do that, but what they needed her for was like, well, now we know that, you know, she is definitely part of the Rebel Alliance because they're interrogating her. They'd blow up the planet.
Yeah. They need more answers.
They're in Dantooine. So then they're like, okay, well, she is not. She's no longer of use to us because she did lie to us. So when they executed her, the reason it took so long is because they were going to display it. Like this is what happens to traitors of the Empire. Because that's A New Hope is actually when it became an official empire because there was no more Senate. Like they even say it in the scene, you know. And so I think just Rogue One itself, like as much as I like to see the characters, as much as I like parts of the story, I just don't think Rogue One in isolation really flushed out A New Hope. I think it was cool to explain the gap in the Death Star. Cool to see that like the rebels they're not like the moral high ground. Like they have to do things that, you know, compromise
Rogue One
morality.
literally just did the same thing Han Solo did. Like it was just the same thing as Solo. It was a part of this really, really great film that was like, you know what? Like remember, even in the original movies, the girl gets the information, and they were like, "Oh, but Rogue One was killed in the process of getting us." And then she goes, "Oh, well, bless him," or whatever the fuck she says about him. And then like Han Solo, it was like the parsec shit or the I shot first, and it was Disney just taking this like one impressive quote and being like, yo, we should make a movie about this. Someone heard that line and was like, no, let's make a fucking movie about this. And
like I'll say what Rogue One did right. What they did right was they made it a point that like flying over Tatooine wasn't a coincidence. You know, like Obi-Wan is going to give the plans to Leia, and then if something happens, he knows that Obi-Wan's on Tatooine. You know, like, so there is some intelligent stuff in there, you know, but I just don't think as a whole movie, it's an actually objective good movie and it progresses the story. I think there's too many conveniences. I think there's massive problems with it. There's some acting problems too. Like, I think the main chick, she doesn't really have a personality, you know, and then one of the characters that I actually liked from even Rebels and Clone Wars, like he just was a crazy kooky guy in his little village, and like he practically started the rebellion.
I hear what you're saying, but you do realize that it was so impactful to the story that they actually made a fucking show out of it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you saying that it doesn't fill in any, or it doesn't really do anything to to advance the story, but like there's things that are showing you that that's in other people's perspective that's
Mhm.
not true, because they went to through a whole show with 2 seasons, you know, explaining more in depth upon it. So it's like, I get what you're saying if you're taking it in just a in a vacuum and you're judging it off of that. But I don't know. I just think I don't know what else you were looking for in a story that took place in that time frame. I think I got everything I needed from it. I enjoyed it. I also think that the overall story of Star Wars needed it at that time. It was desperately needing something new, something different.
I can see that.
I think that it did exactly what it did. Hey, listen, I saw reactions where people were walking out of the movie theaters crying at the end. Anytime you can do that, bro, that is a good
No,
that is good for your.
Thank God you weren't in my theater, because you would have seen my ass snoring, man.
no, so that's why I always put a caveat. It's like, it's not that I didn't enjoy it at the time I watched it. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out like constructive criticisms, like
Of course.
things that are pretty objective, but I'm not taking away from, like, dude, I think they introduced new ships. They did some space battles that are freaking phenomenal. They have some great, like, perfect scenes. Like, I think they were very creative, you know, and like, rightfully so. But and they needed that because they weren't creative with what's it called? Force Awakens. And Force Awakens made over $1 billion, but that is not a success. Like, that's a terrible film. Like,
Yeah, it hurt.
in and of itself, it's just a terrible film. It's a terrible continuation of Star Wars before that, and just by itself, it makes no sense. The characters don't act like people. Like, you know, it's a bad film, but it made $1 billion because of the name that's attached to it. So that, like, that's one of my arguments. Like, just because it makes a lot of money, you know, will it stand the test of time? Will it, you know, keep us interested in the story? Because even Rise of Skywalker made $1 billion, but it, you know, it killed the franchise completely.
Well, I'll tell you,
and I would say it was dead before that, but
yeah, I'll tell you what. Like, I bet we all wish that we had movies like Rogue One right now.
oh yeah,
yeah, because all the fucking movies are coming out
100%.
suck ass. I wish we had. Dude, you know what fucking was crazy, Brian? Okay, so I went to the beach this weekend, which is about, you know, like an hour away from where I live.
Yeah.
And I was watching fucking regular television because we didn't have internet. Right? We didn't have it in the condo. So I was like, oh, fuck, like, television still exists? Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing fucking Black Adam. And
not a bad movie, bro.
I was like, fuck, bro. We were eating kind of good, dude. We were eating kind of good. Bro. Like, I during that time, I thought that movie was stupid as fuck, dude. Like, I thought the CG and all the fights and
it's not as bad as everyone. Yeah, it's not as bad as everyone made it out to be.
Fuck, with what we got right now, it's not bad, dude.
It's not the best comic book movie of all time. It's not in the top 10, top 15. But
they do some silly shit, but
compared to what we're getting right now, it's fucking crap. At the time, the way that it got dunked on, I think was kind of unfair. Personally, again, I'm not gonna die on that hill at all. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, we're not fucking Black Adam fans.
I'm not gonna die on that hill. But I just don't think it was as bad as everyone made it out to be, especially after I saw it.
Bro, like, it was nuts because I waited for the after credit scene after all the silliness ensued. And I was like, oh, Henry Cavill comes out. Let me check this out. And when Henry Cavill walks out of the fucking smoke, I was like, fuck, dude, we had it good, dude. Like, he looked fantastic in the suit and the hair. And, oh, man, dude, I was like, God damn it. God damn it. Now look at what we got.
Yeah, and, like, he got fired on his birthday. You remember, he did a press conference and went to...
Brian fucking talks about that whole, like, that era of... The Rock, James Gunn, the Henry Cavill getting shit on to coming back to getting shit on to, like, Brian's like, man, they fucking did him dirty, dude.
Yeah, James Gunn. Oh yeah, James Gunn will always be a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned because of that entire that time. Only because it's one thing if, and again, we're going on a tangent, by the way, guys. We are so far off.
Yeah.
We have derailed.
Well, we're two comic nerds, dude.
Yeah, we derailed.
Fine. We just covered Star Wars. We're getting into DC now. That's crazy. We were on Marvel,
bro. Like, honestly, it's one thing if you just don't want to continue with certain people. That's one thing, but then don't lie to them. Like, don't tell them to their face, all right, we're gonna have something for you, or we're gonna keep you around for this, and then just completely backstab them. He literally did that to every one of them. He did it to Ben Affleck. He did it to Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
He did
The
it
only
to
one he
all of them.
maintained was
No,
fucking
what's crazy?
Lobo
He
or
never
whatever.
did it to Ezra Miller.
He didn't, and he never did it to Ezra Miller. He kept
Kind of
the
like,
money,
dude, that
and
guy
he
was
never
beating
did
up
the
pregnant women. What the freak?
and he never did it to, like you said, he never did it to Jason Momoa. He never did it to him because he liked.
No,
him.
he promised Jason Momoa a part, and then he brought him back. He's bringing him back
Well,
as
yeah,
Lobo.
that's what I'm saying. Like he
Like,
did.
he's
he
the only
did lie
one
to
that he's kind of like still maintains some kind of
No,
connection.
but he
to in a
lied
way.
to the fans like multiple times, even with his own universe.
Yeah.
Like he's a liar, dude. Like you can't trust anything that guy says. Like
True.
I've broken down the last Superman movie there and back again. I think it sucks.
That's probably why fucking Derpy's not here.
I'm gonna say, yeah.
I was
Dirty
gonna
knew
say,
it
dude,
was coming.
to have you both talking about Superman is
Spidey
fucking, he will be
senses-
so
Spidey
mad,
senses were
dude.
tingling. He knew this was coming at some point. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
got
like,
too fucking
dude,
Derpy, and I love
That
the kid.
movie freaking is an abomination to Superman. Derp, if you're listening, no offense, man.
He's gonna take it as a offense, 1000%. Sorry.
Yeah, I love you, Derp. It's just, you could like it. No hate if you like it. It just sucks.
Yeah, I've realized, you know what, you just gotta let him enjoy it. Speaking of, I mean, let's kind of like bring this
Back a
try
little
to
bit, right?
bring this party back on track. Since we are in the realm of DC, we do have some Warner Brothers, information news that's just breaking actually before we got on.
Mhm.
Chris, do you want to introduce the topic about
Not a hater.
What they called you a hater? Warner
Not a
Brothers
hater.
back in the buy for Paramount, guys. It's getting fucking crazy. WB has returned with another, I guess bid. I guess you could call it bid because for a moment we kind of were getting the talks that Netflix was pretty much taking the reins on this, right? I mean, I would even say it's kind of awkward because we are getting some like sprinkles of some shows that are in Netflix now that have to do with Paramount and the DC universe. If I'm not mistaken, I think they added like some, I don't know. There was like some cartoons like the Suicide Squad or something that was in Netflix already, or Harley Quinn or something like that. But it's interesting because it's so far past. We're like 2 months out, and Warner Brothers has come back. They come back from the dead to offer more money for Paramount. What do we?
You mean Paramount offers more money?
Paramount for
Yeah.
WB, right? Yeah. So what do you guys think, man?
Yes.
What do you think? Brian,
Brian, you want to go first?
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Relic. Let me just take this really quick.
Go for it. Go
this,
for it. Yeah. So Relic, you
this is-
take it, man.
Oh wait, hold on. No, I was just
No,
gonna.
no.
I was
Brian
gonna
goes
go-
first. Brian goes first.
Yeah, I'll go really quick because I have this. I already have this up, and this is like a Variety article that literally just came out a couple hours ago.
Uh-huh.
It's basically saying the Warner Brothers Discovery Board is leaning towards re-engaging with Paramount Skydance on the revised terms of Paramount's offer to acquire an entire company, which inked an 83 billion sale agreement with Netflix in December. So just 2 months ago, it was all but finalized that Netflix was going to acquire Warner Brothers in this big deal. And this sparked a conversation between Triggs and I in our group chat. And it was a big deal that holy shit, Netflix got Warner Brothers. But from all the accounts that I was reading, it wasn't so cut and dry. Now you have to understand the characters that are involved in this situation, where you have billionaires, you have Saudi royalty, you have stockholders that are in the mix, and when you have all that kind of money, nothing is finalized until the ink is dry. So slowly but surely, I was trying to explain that when you have a situation like this and you have someone that is just not taking no for an answer and lying down, but has all the money in the world, they're not just gonna go away. They're at this point, you're fucking with their ego, you're fucking with their money. Like they will burn all of their money just to say that they got this and no one outbid them or had one up on them. And I think that's what we're looking at here. And when you are a publicly traded company, you have a fiduciary obligation to your stockholders to not think about your own gains, but the gains of the people, you know, in that own the stock. So it's kind of illegal for you to base a sale off of how much money you'll make and not what your shareholders will make. So the people at Warner Brothers are kind of up against it to where they may have to sell to Paramount if enough shareholders get behind it. The other day, what is this, Ellison or whatever the fuck, the Paramount people, they flipped a company that has a minority stakehold in Warner Brothers, and Trigger's like, well, they only have 1%. I'm like, well, that's 1% they didn't have a week ago, you know. So like, surely but surely they are changing the board members and the stockholders' minds around to where it could very well end up being a situation where they just outbid Netflix, and Netflix turns around and looks at how much they're gonna have to put up to try to outbid them, and they're like, this is not worth it. This is not worth it. We're never going to see that money. We're never going to see that money come back to us. We'll never be able to explain to our shareholders that we are spending this much money and we will never able to get this money back. Now, Paramount doesn't have that issue. They have money to burn. Like, there's one person that this guy has to speak to really at the end of this, and he doesn't care how much money he burns. So they're kind of at an advantage here, and I just think that it's an interesting situation and an ongoing situation that I think is not over yet, guys. I don't know what you guys think about this.
I'll put my 2 cents in. So Paramount offered more money before, right? And Warner Brothers wasn't buying. Netflix already has made money off this deal because what happens when you're in a negotiation, you put money down like an escrow. And so I forgot how many billions of dollars that if Warner Brothers doesn't accept Netflix deal, like Warner Brothers has to pay Netflix a few $1 billion. Paramount, I think and I don't think it's the shareholders don't really have a say. It's the board of directors have a say. But the board of directors can also transfer over as well. So you could still stay as a board of director and be sold to a whole different company. So it's more about who gets to stay in power. With Netflix, they promised James Gunn and the current CEO of Warner Bros. That they get to stay in power as in creatives and in charge of certain properties like DC. And Paramount wasn't promising nothing. Paramount was like, nope, all we want is this, and then we can negotiate afterwards, which is a huge red flag for any of the projects. And one of the reasons why we got an announcement of upcoming projects in the past 2 years is because they were already prepping this sale. Like, negotiations have been happening for over a year. We just started hearing about it like around September, right? And so
this is Paramount's 9th bid, by the way. They've had 9 bids.
Yeah, and so the genius thing what Paramount is doing is they're being loud because they're just getting ignored completely. But when you're making a bid and the company is up for sale and you can't really explain why you're not taking the highest bid, then that's when the waters get a little murky and like legal action takes place. Like somebody said, Trunk still has to approve it. Actually, he doesn't. It falls under monopoly law, and right now, because of other companies have acquired so many other properties, like Disney's the biggest culprit of why this isn't happening.
Can I clarify that really quick?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to approve it, but he could tank it. He did say that. He did say that if I'll clarify this, Avi. He doesn't have to approve it. That's like a whole board that has to approve it. But he could definitely tank it. What he did say is that he won't get him if Paramount gets the approval, he won't interfere.
Yeah, and also
he won't tank it. He could tank it if he wants.
Yeah, and that's also like the reason why I think it's the better option for everybody that Paramount takes it, because that means we're still going to get movie in theaters. We're still going to get a push towards that. We're still going to have a more focus on the storytelling. And we know Netflix just pumps out content. But on the business side of things, where the reason monopoly laws aren't playing a big role right now with Netflix is because what they have is just rights to a whole lot of stuff. They don't really have other companies. And same with Paramount. Disney they should have never acquired Fox. Like Lucasfilm should have been the last company that they were able to acquire, and even that was still like murky back then. But the government never intervened of the monopoly law. So when one guy has been able to do it, one business, aka Disney, then they have a huge leg to stand on any company acquiring Warner Brothers other than Disney, because if you're Disney, why aren't you making a bid? You know what I mean? But it's because they know that monopoly laws are going to intervene.
Yeah,
These other
that'll never
companies,
go through.
yeah, and these other companies, they are not playing by the same rules because of what Disney has done in the past. That they don't have to apply to the monopoly laws. So that's why the bids are going longer and they could get higher. And shareholders are going to get loud with the board of directors, because at the time we thought Netflix was a done deal. I think it was like $12 less the share that Netflix was offering, that Paramount was offering $12 more than Netflix, which is a freaking lot,
It's a lot.
you know, like, and if anybody doesn't know how like business deals work, especially like with franchises or properties, there are laws in place that if you have a share, like if I own a share to Warner Brothers and it's sold, I can like Warner Brothers can decide to forfeit that share if they go to private company, because they can make something private and now they own a private company. They don't have to maintain it as a public traded company. So if you have $1,000 in shares, Netflix can be like, here's $1,000, goodbye. This is now just ours. And so everybody no longer has an investment. And then that could be a whole tax issue with everybody who has shares, or they have to go buy other shares somewhere else and possibly take a big loss. So there's a lot to play on how this all works. And I think Paramount overall is the best choice. The best overall in fantasy world is for Warner Brothers to stay its own company. Even though they're the dumbest company in the world, they should stay as their own company. Like, but we're not getting an Elon Musk buying an X situation. We're not getting a single person going over there. And with the Saudis, they really want to get a lot more tourism and getting into the media.
And they want a foot in American television. This is
American
very
entertainment
this is a very, and I think again that I'm about to ask you, Chris, like, where do you see this ending up and where would you prefer this to go? But this is very nuanced as to political and economical things that are at play here. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think because it wasn't too long ago that the Saudis did an investment into EA. They went and bought a huge share in video games. So now they're in charge of that. So they're getting money based on the entertainment in the United States and worldwide. Because again, we know the Saudis are very much in Dubai, setting up things for esports, different venues of entertainment, AI, anything that deals with technology or something. And again, the amount of, like, let's say you're doing football, right? You have each individual player that you have to pay out millions of dollars. In esports, smaller team, just as much venue entertainment. You look at Worlds for League of Legends. You look at the Dota tournaments that they've had over the years. You look at the growth of esports. You know, they understand that even though it doesn't go with their cultures, that these entertainment values have money to be made in it. And all they have to do is continue to back it, invest, and get a turnaround. So now we have one of the biggest studios with some of the biggest IPs up for grabs. Like, again, I don't think it's smart for WB to sell to another studio. I would rather them sell to another streaming service who houses studios, just like Disney did to Marvel way back in the day. Speaking of that essence, right? When they picked up Marvel, it was during the second Hulk movie with Edward Norton. That was the first movie that Disney ever financially backed.
But Chris, they just did that. They just did that.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a smart move.
But no, I'm just saying it doesn't work because they literally just did that. They just combined with Discovery. So Discovery basically bought Warner Brothers, and it failed miserably.
Yeah, again, that's a studio.
Now they're selling it separately.
Yeah, again, that's the studio trying to buy a failing studio.
And now they're breaking away. So, like, I get.
Yeah, again, this is a studio buying a second studio, of mind you, a failing studio at the same time. Like Discovery, for what it's worth, is just another failing property that branched away from what Time Warner Cable or whatever it was that housed a bunch of different studios and would put it out. Everybody,
Discovery,
what are you saying? Discovery's big.
okay, I'm sorry. I was gonna say I don't think Discovery is the money drainer here. I think it's Warner. I think it's the Warner Brothers aspect of this.
No, I'm not saying it's a money drainer, but what I'm saying is individual studios that only have a certain amount of IPs will eventually fail. And then they'll need to be housed under something to be given opportunities to be shown again. And that's
here's the thing, like the CW before 2019 till this day is up for sale. It's always been up for sale, I think, since 2017, 2018. But it's since the CW's existence, it's never made a profit or broken even. So there's clauses that whatever debt Warner Brother has, you're also taking on that debt.
Yeah, 100%.
And the CW is the only one that was open to anybody, like an individual with money can go in and buy it. So right now, there's a few plays that Warner Brother has. Like if they prolong it, then it's open to the public. So the Saudis buying it is because they have an organization that could back it. Yep. Netflix is an organization that could back it, Paramount. So they actually can't right now sell to an individual person because of they have to show it to the first people who are interested.
Yeah,
it's a connection game.
And there's way too much money involved at this point.
Well, again, me and Brian had talked about this weeks ago, and I said, I think Paramount, well, it's Paramount that's being backed by the Saudis to buy WB, right? Is that what it is?
In conjunction with, I can't remember. I keep forgetting this guy's name. Ellison. He's a multi-billionaire. So his money along with the Saudis, and I understand that Netflix is like a powerhouse.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have three people needing to come together to match what Netflix is doing individually, and Netflix is constantly growing, and Paramount is kind of like plateauing on whatever it is that they're doing as a studio and whatever IPs they already have.
Yeah, like Paramount needs to go find investors to do it. Yeah.
The kicker here is that Paramount Plus is in the fucking red. Like
that's what I said.
Yeah,
I said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like they're in the fucking red. Like
that's why they have to borrow money.
Yeah,
so they're probably.
But also,
I'll just shoot this in the dark, right?
Yeah.
They're probably approaching their partners and saying, "Hey, look, we want to save what we have. Give us the money. We buy WB. We're gonna get back on it." And the Saudis are like, "Hey, you know what? Let's give them the money. If they fucking fail, we'll just take over both companies, and we got both of those IPs under us.
And
we got Paramount and we got WB."
That's why. Well, one of the reasons why it's taking long is because of DC. Because the main character in the next 10 years that's going to go to public domain is Superman. So one of the things that is a cash cow for them, they need to start like
10 years of Superman. That's all you got left.
No,
you kind of.
But what you're gonna start seeing is patents for the Superman symbol. So if they were smart, the new Superman is going to have a new symbol almost every 2 to 3 movies, of a progression of costume, so that like nobody can actually portray when 2035 comes up. Portray a Superman with that symbol, that type of costume, that collar. That's one
that's
of the
not going to slow down those fucking weird $5 Mickey Mouse movies, bro. That's not going to slow Winnie the Pooh movies.
Yeah,
down.
but they're not going to be able to make money. So, like for instance, you could put a fan film of Star Wars out, but if it's monetized on YouTube, you can get sued by Disney.
Yeah,
can I ask a question? Where because I mean, my conspiracy theory hat is always on constantly, and for the life of me, ever since I read about this or heard about this entire situation, I've always wondered what the Saudis get out of this besides the obvious. And honestly, I think them linking up with this Ellison and Paramount is the smartest thing for the Saudis, because one of two things can happen here: either it works and everyone makes money, or it fails, and then you'll be able to get the entire fucking.
I just said that, didn't I?
And then you'll get the entire winner cheap, pennies on the dollar,
dirt cheap because they owe you.
Yeah, and you'll get it dirt cheap. You'll be able to buy it dirt cheap because this guy's a maniac and drove the fucking company into the ground. Now you have a full American blooded company in the hands of Saudis.
Mind you, and you have one of the biggest IPs in DC, like American comic book company. Like now you practically own that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, here's what also people are focusing on DC. DC is like the cash cow of Warner Brothers, but they get the rights to movies and TV shows of Lord of the Rings. They get like they have rights for other comics aside from DC. Like they have Looney Tunes. They have all this.
Well,
stuff.
just
like,
look at Space Jam, bro. Like,
yeah,
just look at
like
fucking look at everyone in the back of Space Jam. Fucking Pennywise is practically there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if it works out, then everyone makes money. If it doesn't, all of that IP,
all of that shit's gonna go right to the Saudis.
Well,
it's easy.
It's also about how they're making money. Like, for instance, Lucasfilm has not made a single dime since they've been under Disney. So everything is backed by Disney money, and all the movies that fail from Disney, it's backed by the money they get from the parks. So there's other ways.
I was gonna say the parks,
right?
The iconic imagery of those IPs is what makes them a lot of money.
Yeah, but
a lot of fucking money.
But all of the money, actually.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like, if you, for instance, if you go to a Disney park, you know, you go to Universal Studios. Let's say they just trash on Captain America. You know, they make the worst Captain America movies, whatever. You're at Universal Studios for Harry Potter or whatever, but you're gonna see Captain America and you're gonna remember the good times. You're not gonna remember the bad times. Then maybe you pick up a comic or two. Maybe you start talking about Captain America again, and you go back to the good times. So even if there's like a little bit of taint towards the IP, when you're in a certain event where you're not sitting down and talking about a movie and you're having a good time, you usually tend to remember good times. So then
kids don't know tank. Kids don't know that stuff.
Yeah. And if you're a parent and you see your kids having fun, you're going to start having fun with them, because you're not going to bring up the bad movies. Like, I'm not showing my kids, you know, the new Superman movie. I'm showing them Christopher Reeve Superman. I'm even debating if I'm going to show the Man of Steel, even though I think Henry Cavill's better as Superman than David Cornswell. But
they're gonna watch it either way, man. When they get older, they're gonna watch that shit.
Honestly,
they're gonna watch it. But after
these companies don't give a fuck what version of Superman you show your kids. As long as you show them a version, as long as they show them a version, they don't care.
Once that kid gets an iPad and he's like in 5th grade, and someone's like, "Yo, Snyderverse, fuck James Gunn," and your kid's like, "What does that mean?" And then he fucking starts looking it up. You're gonna be like, "Don't look at that shit on your iPad, kid." And then he's gonna be like, "I do what I do, Dad. You leave me alone." And then I don't know. I fucking
they ain't getting
kids do nowadays.
Like my wife is Korean. The hammer gets laid down here at the house. But if the Saudis get DC or Warner Brothers as a whole, their whole point is to advertise and market their country, because the way that a country gets developed and built is actually tourism. So they need other currencies coming in, especially if their currency fails, if there's things going on. That's why we hear about Dubai a whole lot. We saw Dubai like entering every freaking film, Mission Impossible.
You see a bunch of college kids going to go visit Dubai? No, a bunch of rich motherfuckers visit Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
Dubai is going to have money even without the fucking tourism.
No, like, for instance, I have a friend that her family lives in Dubai. They have programs for teenagers with no money to go over there and just
make money,
study over there. So the more tourists they get, the more programs they can develop. They can develop more because they're getting money, regardless if something does well or not. And it's about getting the name out there. Like, if I tell you, like I like the Mission Impossible movies, especially after the 4th movie. Like, I think there's a lot of good ones. But if you're telling me that like people didn't know or want to go travel to Dubai after the Fast and Furious 6 or 7 or what it was.
People want to go to that place because there's motherfuckers sideswiping Land Rovers, driving on 2 tires, petting tigers.
How did the name get up there?
There's just money. People want to go because it's money.
Yeah, but I didn't hear about Dubai my entire life until...
That's because we're broke, man. Of course we don't know about Dubai. Nobody ain't inviting us, bro. I'll tell you what, like, it's cool. It's cool that us, like, the middle class of the world is like, oh, Dubai needs tourism. That's why they want to. What does fucking Dubai care about Superman? Other than it's like, yo, some Saudi prince. That's the fuck. Look who bought EA.
Mhm.
A fucking Saudi prince bought it because he's a fan of the games. And like
I don't-
literally put on his TikTok, yo, I'm the prince that bought EA. Didn't even like fucking like didn't blink an eye. Like he's like a
And
CEO of something.
not
He's
only
just
that,
throwing
Yeah.
but
bro.
It could be just for clout. It
But
could be.
hold
Yeah,
on.
100%.
In addition to EA, they've also brought over soccer teams with Ronaldo and fucking Messi. They've
Yep.
also started. They've brought over the top American and foreign golf players, start their own golf.
All the UFC fighters that
Yeah.
go over there.
UFC
the
goes over there.
Comedians, they had
over
that
there.
comedy event.
Yeah, every motherfucker wants to.
Dave Chappelle was over there, so like they have been making a conscious effort. I'm seeing like both of you guys are correct. Like Relic, you are right. This is like, where did this come from? But Chris, you're right. Like there has been a conscious effort in the past, I don't know how many years, to make Dubai the destination. So I think
Yeah,
tell
like
you
like
this,
think about it this way:
if-
Hollywood's the mecca of becoming an actor and filming a movie.
If
what
Dubai,
if
watch-
Dubai wants to be the next Hollywood? They want to.
yeah,
be
yeah,
the mecca
that's
of
all it
movies.
is. If
you know?
Dubai was as prominent as it is right now 40 years ago, it would have been the Duke, James Dean, and any of the cool actors you saw, that everyone, Michael Jackson, all of those dudes would have been in Dubai as much as Dana White and all the UFC fighters, because they like American culture.
I
They
think
love the American action stars. They like the sports. They like
Well,
everything.
comics is American culture.
Yeah, 100%.
Comic books are. American
Yeah, the
culture.
first 10
I
years of
don't-
Marvel proved it.
I don't think I gave my
Yeah, sorry about that.
Opinion.
Sorry,
no,
I'm sorry.
you're good. We go on tangents. I don't think I gave my opinion as to who I think should get this. And to be honest with you, I think Warner Brothers is fucked regardless.
100%.
Agreed.
I think they're
Agreed.
fucked either way.
I think the
if they,
lesser of two evils is just Netflix.
I think if they go to Netflix, it'll be just another chink in their wheel
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Continue with Disney.
it'll probably lean more left in not conservative,
Politically.
like politically. And then if you go to Paramount, is going to go heavily right, or it'll go into the hands of the Saudis. Either way, it's I think Warner
Yeah.
might be quick to
I think Paramount, like if you look at Paramount, they have some garbage shows that are very left leaning, and they have some really garbage shows that are right leaning. But they have some good shows that kind of play the middle. You know, like you got Tulsa King.
But then
you
the
got
caveat,
Landman.
the asterisk here is Trump,
Mhm.
because again, like the statement that he made was very specific. He said, you know, I'm kind of rooting for Paramount to get it. Now you gotta ask yourself, why is he rooting for Paramount? Because then you know, I guess we can all read between the lines on that. And he said that, you know, I won't if they are the ones that get the nut, I'm not gonna interfere in that. I'm gonna let them just do it.
They're gonna let them
But-
run their business. That's all it is. They're gonna let them do their business.
They're gonna let them do the business. But he
Yeah.
didn't say that. He didn't say that for Netflix though. He didn't say that if Netflix got it, he wouldn't interfere. So like it's weird what's going on. There's a lot of things that are like there's a lot of moving variables here that you know you got to keep your eye. You got to keep your eyes.
I honestly think Netflix is the more dangerous one to own all of this. I know Chris disagrees with that. I just think Netflix, they're very well known to take things that people love and just put messaging in. Because I don't care if you're left or right. If you focus on story, you focus on story. Like I want to see a story. I don't even want my own politics shoved in my face. You know what I mean? But Netflix is very much like, no, we think a certain way and then that's it. And then they like certain shows get through the cracks. And I think where it's about contracts, because Netflix is going to keep James Gunn and the current owner of Warner Brothers at the helm. But you look at, you know, One Piece, the creator of One Piece is very much in charge of what happens story-wise. So Netflix actually can't touch, you know, they can't put their studio notes into One Piece. They have to get approval, and the Japanese don't care about nobody.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
Wonder Woman.
If Netflix gets this, Hollywood is going to be damaged severely.
Oh,
Well, look,
100%,
watch.
yeah.
I'll put this out there just to push, right? One, you can't name a company that's in or under Paramount right now that doesn't at its core has a political statement. right now the comic books of DC. No matter if this person buys it or this other person buys it, it's already been infiltrated by every form of political statements you can think of on both sides. And I'm not even picking a side. And that's already coming to a part where people are getting frustrated with it because nobody wants to pay to see these things anymore. Like they people are looking harder for an escape. Like, and Chris, I understand where you guys are. What's up?
I just think that that's at the root of this. Like I think this is all smoke and mirrors. I think at the core of this, it's political. I think this is the first time that we've seen since a lot of things have transpired where a big company, a big 100%. Media company, a media company is up for grabs, and I think is going to be used either way. Either side is going to be used as a vehicle politically. Either way.
But that's the problem.
I think that's the reason what's at stake here.
And that's the thing, because you look at WB, you look at or you look at Paramount, you look at Netflix, and both of them suffer from putting a bunch of political shit in their stuff, right? You were just saying one of them, what Netflix kind of leans more left, more liberal. Paramount, WB leans more right, is what we're saying, right?
Well, Michelle Obama is the biggest shareholder of Netflix, and I think she owns actually part of the company.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying, and you just see it leans more left, and for Paramount, you can see it leans kind of more right, and I think that's the reason
but again, Paramount owns partial parts of what I don't even know what they fucking.
They have like Tulsa King, and then they have that new one with Billy Bob Thornton that's like
Landman.
They have Landman, so they have like a lot of like they're
going to be core old school atomic nuclear family shit, right?
Christian values type of shit, and so that's where they're leaning towards. That's the reason why they got the okay by Trump, because now he's gonna have an engine to do whatever bidding he wants, if you want to put it that way. So I just think that, to me, from my view, if you just step back, I think that's what's at risk here. I don't think it's about the money. I don't think it's about anything else. I think it's about.
I agree with that. And I think Netflix is more in line politically with James Gunn and the current owner of Warner Brothers. I think.
Yeah, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe that shit just ain't working for him right now, and they want to change the pace.
It ain't working, but it's about having power. Like James Gunn and the CEO of Warner Brothers, they're not doing this just for money. They're greedy. Anybody who deals with a lot of money, you want all of it. You want to have your cake and eat it too. They want to get the billions of dollars, and they also still want to be in control. So Netflix is the better deal for James Gunn and the CEO of Warner Brothers. The better
I didn't even know Paramount owned Nickelodeon, MTV, and BET.
Yeah.
Holy shit, they got a lot of fucking IPs.
Yeah, they got the rights for Sonic,
Mission Impossible, Transformers, Star Trek, Star Trek is huge, bro.
It's super left leaning.
Star Trek, I don't care if no one watches Star Trek. It's nuts huge, bro.
No, but it's dead now. Star Trek has been dead for a while.
No one watches fucking Star Trek. What are you talking about?
Everyone is inspired by the old school Star Trek television shows, and we all know that. It may be shit on now, even with that new Fleet bullshit they released. Even with the new Fleet stuff they released is really trash. But like Star Trek as an IP from the old days was like universally probably one of the greatest.
Shit has not drew a dime in decades, Chris. Knock it off, yo. No one, all those fucking Star Trek, all those Star Trek movies that they keep trying to shove in our face, they fucking tank. What are we talking about? We're not gonna sit here and try to.
Because it's J.J. Abrams, the killer of franchises, man.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about anything right now. I'm talking about what it was back in the day. That's crazy, dude. Scream.
E.T. has
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, bro.
They had a again, these are IPs that are just dead in the water. These are all dead in the water.
Like the problem with Paramount is that they're like
South Park, Paw Patrol. You like Paw Patrol?
I disagree with.
They got Beavis and Butthead.
Is that they're not right leaning. I don't think Paramount is right leaning. I think they've hired right leaning showrunners, but all the things that they're inherently like, the studio has their claws in. TMNT, their comics. The comics of TMNT is dead. TMNT, they're outsourcing TMNT for other people. Also left leaning, which I was surprised that Mutant Mayhem was actually pretty good, even though I don't really care for Seth Rogen. But you know, like the stuff they're doing is, you know, it's like Star Trek. That
Well, you could just be
are
honest and
actually,
say it's
yeah.
like Looney Tunes. WB ain't doing shit with Looney Tunes.
Yeah, and
Okay,
Looney
That's
Tunes,
the
but
in my
same
opinion,
shit,
is
and
better
that's a
than Mickey
big
Mouse.
IP too that they
but
failed with.
Looney Tunes will make money forever. That's something
Regardless.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
So, but to your point though, Relic, I get what you're saying, that you think that Paramount is left leaning, but that could be the case as of right now.
Right now,
But
yeah.
Yes, yes.
but their owner, Larry Ellison, is a huge Trump guy. Huge Trump guy. So if
Yeah.
Trump allows this deal to go through, you don't think he would be under Trump's thumb to be like, hey, I need this done, or I need you to start doing this? You don't think he would bend like anything that was left leaning? That shit will be dead. It'll be dead. That's what's at stake
Mhm.
here. That I don't think people are focusing on. That's what I mean by, at the end of this, that's what we're looking at. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they may have some shows that are left leaning, but if they get this, all that's going away.
I think it will go away slowly. We're still gonna get crap. I don't want it to go all the way right either. I don't want the pendulum to swing. I want it to stay right in the middle. I'm okay with all left leaning stuff dying at this point because it's just getting shoved down our throats, even if you are left leaning. And I do think, to your credit, is that there's so much politics that they want to use these IPs for. They don't want to actually write a story. And that's why I point out, like, we're not getting like an Elon Musk. Like, regardless what you think about Elon Musk, he's made crappy decisions with X, but he bought Twitter so that it can, like, his intention was for anybody can talk. You can't just kick them out because they have an opinion, and it's not going to cater to one political side or the other. Now, I don't think he's really lived up to that, but like the intention was there. We're not getting a comic. We're out of all the people that are trying to bid on Warner Brothers, there's not one entity or person that's like, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, or I'm a fan of DC, and that's why I'm buying this. I think it's for political reasons. I think it's for clout, but I do believe that Paramount is going to crack harder on taking away ideology, because one of the reasons we've had so much ideology in the past like 8 years or so is because there was no pressure in paying back the money that
you
was
lose
being
for
borrowed to make films.
Yeah, to
So
fuck
then
up
they
with.
so then they were hiring a bunch of people that just wanted to put, you know, their activism in the movies without paying any debts. But now the debt collectors are upon them, and I think they're going to be like, well, let's actually really listen to the fans and see if we could come up with something. And they might come up with crap, but I think it's going to be way less political. They might stop politics, but yeah.
I think at the core of this, when it comes to the people that have the shareholders at Warner Brothers that have been desperately fighting against the sell to Larry Ellison and Paramount, I think that's why. It's because they understand that where this is gonna go, and they don't.
And I
want
think the best situation is Warner
and
Brothers
they
to
don't want
stay
any part.
itself.
And they don't want any parts of that, because then at that point your stock becomes volatile, because now you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Because now, if most of your shit that you pump out is leaning one way or the other, now you're fucking people's money. And so I just think that, again, I think Warner Brothers just needs to be careful. I think they're fucked regardless on what they do here, but they just need to make the right choice, whatever that may be. They just need to make the right choice here.
Yeah, and I want to point something out that I talked about with a friend of mine. So I don't know if you guys knew about the GNC situation when they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in, I think it was 2018.
GNC, the weightlifting shit.
The supplement,
General Nutrition Center.
Yeah.
So they're a publicly traded company. One of the ways that a company can go up for bid for cheap, but it won't work because there's a lot of people with a ton of money, that it goes to the highest bidder, is to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It takes a public traded company back to private, and anybody can buy it. And it's the more fair route, because those who were, and the reason why GNC did that, not only were they losing money, but they had a few people on the board of directors that wanted to own it, and they want it privatized, and the other board of directors want it out. So that's like a possibility that board of directors can make that decision. Like, no, I want out. I don't want to be transferred to another entity. I don't want to be part of Netflix or Paramount, whatever. Where when you file Chapter 11, it's a restructuring of a company. So it goes back to the private and back to a private company, and highest bidder wins. But the reason that's not going to ever be possible or fair is because it's going to start a huge bidding war. Like companies are making bids, but this is a sale. This isn't a bid. So Warner Brothers can decide to take the lesser amount of money and go for what they align themselves with more.
Yeah, if it's politically driven, right?
And
I was gonna say that's the interesting thing about this situation, and just about these things in general. Normally, there's some decorum. There's a dance to it. It's supposed to be elegant, and it's supposed to be, you know, cordial. But we're in hostile takeover territory.
Oh yeah,
that's the reason 100%. Why it's called. That's the reason why it's called a hostile takeover. Because this guy Ellison is not taking no for an answer. He's not trying to be graceful about this at all. He wants it, and he's a billionaire, a multi-billionaire with pride, and he feels like he's not getting what he wants, and he doesn't know how to deal with that. So that's what we're seeing in real time. We're seeing a spoiled, billionaire with the president, on his ass. Saying that he can't get what he wants.
I don't think it's a matter of spoil. I think it is a smart business move if you're Paramount, because you got to remember Paramount used to work with Warner Brothers.
Really, where they when they start overbidding this way, where are they going to make this money back? This is a stupid move.
Well, like it's about the perception of money. It's not about the actual money they have or haven't.
You're gonna get that off to shareholders? You think they're gonna understand your idea, a concept of money, and not actual money? You think they're gonna buy that?
No. Like this is how it works. Like if you have shares, it's fake money. It's projected money, right?
Yes.
So the reason why Warner Brothers is worth its 80 billion when it was only worth like 30 something billion not only 2 years ago is because of the announcements. So there's the potential of making money.
Correct.
So when it's purchased, it's also going to be worth more after purchase because now it's a new product. So then they're going to get banks, they're going to get people to be able to invest to start their projects. And that way that's how they're going to put stuff out. And then when it's successful, there's going to be a profit margin.
Okay. Right? And that's where we're going to have the issue. Is if you're overpaying for something, you're going to have to say to your shareholders, we are going to make this much in 10 years. We are going to make this much in 5 years. We'll be at this much in 2 years. When you're overpaying, that number gets more and more hard to reach.
Well, that's also why this sale, the reason why it's so important, and I made that point before, is that as soon as something's sold, there are contracts in place that like I can buy your shares. If you don't like what I'm going to do with it, you actually have to forfeit your shares for the amount that I'm going to give it to you.
And it's
worth, yeah.
And that's where the Saudis come in. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yo, speaking right. Let's conspiracy theory hats, right? What if the reason why Paramount, because you're talking about how like there's a political stature of left and right ideologies being linked, people connected to the right because of Trump, people connected to the left because of whatnot. What if it's because of the fact that Comcast and Netflix are an acquired partnership, and they don't want them acquiring any extra IPs because they want to compete against them, as the same way that we would complain when Disney would buy another IP, that we were like the infinity rings of Disney controlling all this conglomerate of entertainment, right? Comcast, huge network of television, studios, all this stuff. Netflix is a part of that. And what if it's this, like the right-leaning stuff is the reason why Paramount is trying to be bought by this Ellison guy who leans that way, is connected to Trump, and the Saudis are backing Trump with AI and donations and all this stuff. What are they just trying to like stop them from acquiring more of the entertainment industry and trying to start their own to remove it from Hollywood? Throwing
think
it
that's
out
kinda
there. What do you guys think?
I think that's kind of piggybacking off of. I think this is a different way of saying what we've been saying.
Yeah. But it's
Honestly,
the connection is Comcast, right?
the connection, and honestly, I think the another interesting aspect of this is that the time frame of this and where we are just economically
Economically, yeah.
and socially as a country where we are right now, that this is going to be the first media conglomerate, media company that's up for sale, and we don't know how it's going to be used. We don't know what the fuck is
Yeah,
gonna
what the
happen.
fuck's happening? Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
That's what makes this
Yeah.
interesting, and I think given into the wrong hands, it can be very, very powerful. And that's why I think that's what the end game is here. That's what the plan is. Whoever has it in their hands will have a vehicle of using
I mean,
media.
I wouldn't
however
say
they want.
like it's a bad thing for wrong hands. I think this is like the breeding grounds for other opportunities to do the same thing. I think this is like the forefront of them acquiring different, and it's splitting between two factions of ideologies like we were talking about. I think this is just like the training, or not the training, but the like the first version, the I don't know, the beta testing of how it can be acquired and done this between two splits of ideologies, right?
It's well, we're also assuming that it's gonna be completely the other way, right?
What do you mean? Yeah, because the only thing I say is
if you look at through history, the pendulum always swings. So there's going to be a point where it's right in the middle. And I think the pendulum has started swinging that way.
Yeah, swinging towards the middle.
So even if somebody from the right that's super right and like, you know, because regardless, both sides are crazy when it gets extreme. When it's extreme, they're crazy. Doesn't matter what it is. So when you get to the middle, even if you're crazy, there's a point where, because they're so much in debt after this sale, that I think Paramount is more likely to actually do right by the properties that they obtain. And also, the other reason that I think Paramount is the better choice is because they are known to license off and separate what is a TV show and what is a movie. So Netflix can make DC and Paramount can make DC. But if it's on Netflix, they can't do that because Netflix whole system is by streaming. So there's no, because the other issue is the cinemas. Like, laws were passed like around 4 or 5 years ago that now production companies can purchase cinemas, but they're not doing it. So that's the other side of like why there's certain backing that's not being put on Paramount or put on Netflix. And I think Hollywood was loud for a moment. I don't know why they're quiet. Like, we're not hearing directors like Christopher Nolan talking about it no more. Maybe they're just tired of talking about it. But I think Paramount overall, not saying that they're never gonna go full right or full left or just completely political. They might do that, but I think in the beginning, it's gonna be so focused on getting money, and like we gotta do
reviving some of these dead IPs. I mean,
I
factory.
Well, like I think
Trek.
one of the ways that Paramount will make money is like they're gonna obtain all of Warner Brothers, and then they're gonna sell off things they don't want. Like, oh, I like DC, don't care for Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna sell Lord of the Rings to Netflix.
I think honestly, I think if Paramount, if that's the way that they decide to go, I don't think they're gonna wait. I don't think they're gonna wait. I think that and again, not to make this political, I don't care which side you lean on. I don't care about your political views. But if you think for a second that if Larry Ellison, whatever the fuck his name, gets Warner Brothers, and he will be in Trump's back pocket. If you think Trump is gonna wait until they make some fucking money to start pumping out propaganda, I think you got the situation fucked up. I think
Hunter Iggy, the comment section.
I think they are going
to say his comment. He says, "Chris P, who wants to see a hijab Wonder Woman, a Saudi Superman, and a Saudi's Batman?" I don't think that's what they're gonna do. I really don't. I mean, like,
no,
again,
what
they
want to do is take what's already known and put whatever story behind it, and then advertise that. That like no company, even Star Wars, they didn't just like rebrand Star Wars. It still says Star Wars. They didn't call it Wars in the Stars. You know, like Superman's still gonna look like Superman. Is he gonna act? Is he gonna play Superman? Probably not. You know, is he gonna act like different character altogether. Just
Oh,
has the
but
Superman symbol and name only.
But Relic,
Yeah.
you were complaining that he doesn't do that right now, anyways.
I don't think he like. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he's doing that right now. I do believe that it has the higher possibility of getting worse with Netflix, but I think it's gonna be bad all around. I think we're still gonna get screwed as fans, regardless of where it goes.
Oh yeah, we're cooked. We're cooked
Oh, yeah,
regardless.
I think we're screwed as
we're,
fans.
we're cooked.
But I
Yeah.
mean, in the situation right now, we're cooked already.
Yeah, we're cooked.
Like we're cooked
Well,
already.
right now,
like,
at
you
least,
guys,
at least we
you
know
guys,
what's cooking.
guys aren't really
Later, we
telling me
don't
that
know.
if Wonder War is going to do any better than it's doing right now.
That's why I think it
You know
doesn't
what I
make a difference. I don't think it
like,
makes a difference who gets it.
the only thing that I could see is someone trying to buy investment into the United States, and then the United States just doesn't own it anymore. Like that's what I see, and I'm not saying that that's bad, nor am I saying it's good, but that's like if you were gonna pick any other country. I know, like, I think what was it back like during I want to say Obama's era? They bought into our deficit. I don't know if you remember when China bought a part of our deficit in the United States. All of us
Yeah.
conspiracy guys were freaking the fuck out. Because they were like, oh, they're going to turn a state into fucking China. We're going to have Wyoming turn into a communist country or communist state or whatever because they own it. No, it wasn't like that. But in the concept of it too, like people know the United States makes money. Like they know it's a powerful country and everybody wants to get some kind of investment in it.
Well, in terms
Entertainment-wise,
of comics in the United States, that's the thing that like pop culture influences the U.S. more than anything else. Like it to the regular person, because we want to see stories of heroes and hope, and
But they suck at writing
we
them
live. Yeah, but like we live. It's the basis of capitalism. Like it's the theory of progress. Like we can always become more what we currently are,
true.
and that's what America's always believed in. That's what these comics kind of reflect.
That's what
Like
they
reflect
build. Yeah, that's what
and
they build.
help us realize that like wherever you were, however you were born, whatever you look like, whatever country you're from, if you're here, you can make something of yourself. You might
Look,
not be rich, but you're gonna be a good person. You might not be, the strongest person in the world genetically, but you're going to be something more than if you didn't have this inspiration.
And look, I'll throw this out there because again, how Hunter puts it about the hijab Wonder Woman and the Saudi Superman and the Saudi, bro, do you not think like Dubai and Saudi Arabia have the money to make their own fucking comic books? Like they have the money to create their own superheroes and put,
But they don't have the
billions of fucking dollars,
influence.
but no one's gonna give a fuck about it because no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares about that. So they care about all the shit that happens in America and American characters and all this stuff because that's what America does for entertainment. That's what we excel at in this venue. The Saudi,
It just makes
Go
sense
ahead,
for them to. It would just make sense for them to take over
just
IP
buy
that's
something
already.
that's already
Yeah, just-
existing.
it would just make sense for them. That's just.
Can
in
you
that
imagine,
aspect,
bro?
that
Like,
makes
can
sense.
you imagine? Can you imagine if one Saudi dude threw like $1 billion at like a random fucking writer for DC or Marvel and was like, "Here, make me something." Bro, everyone would jump on that shit just to make money because everybody says they're underpaid. But is it going to be successful? No. Because then you got to get on a market that Marvel and DC are running. Like, that's just what it is. And you know what? I'm disappointed in DC, and I'm kind of happy with DC in the comic books. KO was pretty cool for a moment. The Homelander comic fucking sucked. I was
Dude,
so mad.
I gotta
dude.
be honest, I haven't read any new comics past 2021.
You better do your due diligence, man. There's a lot of shit out there.
F that. No.
Still got to keep
I know
up on it.
like there was good stuff in the past. I'm sticking over there, man.
Yeah, but it's
Like-
it's the same thing with like it's the same thing with video games and movies and stuff. Like we're in a culture shock era right now. I don't know if you guys are really like big on video game shows and like the events. They just did PlayStation's the Play to Win, or what's it called? The PlayStation showcase that they do.
Okay.
And it looked fucking good. Everything they put out looked fucking good. It looks like in the gamers world, I guess you could say like the world is healing or whatever.
Well, like the gamer world, I think has always been the fans have always been very vocal and the same.
They're brutal. dude.
Like
They're
the video
fucking
games
brutal.
drop very quickly after release if it's a crappy game.
Yeah.
I think the problem with movies is that nobody really speaks up about it. Like video games are the medium, the
Podcasting.
biggest medium there is. Yeah, like it's bigger than cinema. Video games have always been bigger than cinema, right?
Yeah.
But but like they don't have, like, if you compare fandoms, the Tolkien fandom comparison to the DC fandom, the Tolkien fandom is a learned fandom. They start from the books and they are extremely vocal of their hate, especially if something goes completely against what Tolkien had before. DC and Marvel, there's too many factions, like the faction of the Snyder fans, the faction of the Gunn fans, comic fans, but nobody really gets together and becomes loud. And I think we're starting to get louder, but it isn't like the big problem isn't just pop culture movies, it's movies in and of itself. Like, I was excited for the movie The Odyssey, and now I'm no longer excited because like they're going against everything that they were preaching about before. They're like, we're gonna keep it straight with the books, we're gonna keep it all straight from the source material. I'm like, okay, the first issue was the armor. I'm like, I'm cool with the armor. I'm like, they're taking creative liberties, but then they're like race swapping here and there, and then we're hearing like that they're not going to, like, half the book isn't even a part of the story, and they're connecting it to like other movies, but they're recasting, like, it's just like, to me it's gonna be a mess because they're now trying to get the qualification to be an Oscar instead of just like, this is the right person for the job because they fit the character, the description that we wrote. No, we need an Oscar, so we need to, hire people who might not have the right talent or the right person or the right look. Like, if like Jonah Hill was the biggest actor in the world and I hired him to be Superman, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear from all Superman fans like, he looks nothing like Superman. You know what I mean?
Isn't fucking Travis Scott in the Odyssey?
Yeah, what the freak is he doing there, man? Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, what?
Listen, Relic, listen, Relic, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you go see this movie and you tell me it's any good, I am never gonna take any of your movie takes serious ever again. You're done with me. We're done here. We're done here. I saw the trailer and I saw Travis Scott. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. They're not
Travis
serious.
Scott. Who the fuck is Travis Scott?
He's a fucking rapper. He's like a famous.
He's not an actor, dude. He's
not an actor.
In there, like, I do.
This is like some shit.
Isn't this the dude that killed people at his fucking concert?
At his concert, is.
Yep. He gets to be in the Odyssey because they gotta kill people. He's experienced.
Like, there's two people I want to meet in this world.
That's me taking pop
there's
shots.
two people I want to meet in this world. It's the agents of Pedro Pascal and the agent and manager of Travis Scott, because they get off scot-free and keep getting money left and right when they don't deserve it. I'm like, I need to meet whoever their manager is because they are like, they're gold.
And they're rich. Yeah, and they're rich too.
So
yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o is gonna play Athena.
Yep.
That's I love her. I think she's gorgeous.
Don't get me
wrong. Role. I get it.
I don't plan on seeing this movie anyway, so have fun with
that.
Bro, I read the book when I was in middle school. Like, the fuck do I care about the Odyssey, dude? And I didn't like it then either.
Like, it's the first part of, like, it's Christopher Nolan writing the first superhero stories practically. And Christopher Nolan's really good at storytelling.
Yeah, but he also has had some crap movies as well.
Exactly.
Who hasn't, dude?
Listen, next time he decides if he wants to make another Batman movie, okay, wake me up. But other than that, I mean, I'll wait for Relic to give his review on it, and then I probably still won't see it. But then I'll act like I'll see it, like I'm about to with Arcane.
Yeah.
And then you can call it a day.
Look, I'm very fair.
You're gonna be like, damn, this shit's dope, dude.
Look, I'm very fair with my reviews. I separate. This is my opinion versus this is good acting. This is good writing. This is my recommendation. Like, there's gonna be objective and subjective. That's how I separate things very much. And so, like, a lot of people, when I say something like this movie isn't good, they assume I hate it. I'm like, no, I don't hate it. It's just like, if you can explain to me why this makes sense from A to B to C to D to E all the way through the alphabet, but this jump from A to Z and then from Z to 35, then 35 to D, like, and it's not making sense.
If you told me Zack Snyder was directing the Odyssey, you may have a shot.
Because of 300? Because of 300?
Exactly. You give me a 300 Odyssey, dude, I'm in it. I'm there. You give me a 300 Odyssey, I'm there.
Yeah, but like, I think but if Zack Snyder is controlled, because just like George Lucas, he had a crew with him during the first trilogy, that
by
would
the way,
call
I'm
him out
not
for
a
this
Zack Snyder
BS,
fan.
you know?
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not a
by
Zack
the way,
Snyder fan. I think he's a
I'm not a
douche.
Zack. I'm not a Zack Snyder fan. By the way,
I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan. No,
no,
I'm
you're
just
not.
kidding.
Fucking
Shut
loser.
up. No, you're not.
Holy shit, dude! I'm looking at the cast. The cast is pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, they went.
the-
They didn't. Other than Travis Scott, they went out for like for everyone in the in there. They got
Yeah,
Spider
but,
Man
like-
in there. They got Brad Pitt.
Well,
Zendaya?
I thought that was a mistake. Why is Zendaya there? She's always gonna look like a 14-year-old boy for the rest of her life. Like, why is she there?
So it's fucking Tom Holland. You're not gonna sell me that dude's a warrior, dude.
they
Yeah,
got
dude,
You're
like-
gonna put that
Spider-Man
guy
in
in
there.
any fucking armor and sell that shit to me. He
No,
looks like a
when he
soldier.
came out for like the little teaser, like coming out of the studio, that he's in the new Spider-Man suit. I'm like, this guy hasn't worked out a day in his life.
It doesn't
Like,
have to.
if
Nah,
you
man.
look, if you have a baby face, you gotta get freaking ripped, dude.
Yo,
Zac
bro,
Efron,
if
bro,
I-
you got to break your jaw and get that big
I
ass jaw,
pull-
dude.
if I pulled Zendaya and was making the amount of money he is for them stupid Spider-Man fucking movies, I wouldn't work out either, bro. To be honest with you, I tell everyone to kiss my ass. I'm
You
good,
think
bro.
Zendaya looks good, dude?
I mean,
Oh,
it's
Zendaya's pretty.
Zendaya. It's Zendaya. I mean,
Zendaya's
Dude,
pretty.
you got like Sydney Sweeney, Gabrielle Union. You
I
got
don't.
freaking
I don't.
Tyra Banks. You got like anybody, just anybody else other than Zendaya, fool. Like,
I
Like
she's
Tyrese.
dope.
Banks.
you
She's
like her?
cool.
That's cool.
I would-
That's-
I don't. I don't honestly. I don't know if I find her overly attractive, but I find her cool as fuck. I think she would just be a cool, dope girlfriend to have. To be honest with you,
I think
May-
Zendaya's
oh,
pretty. I think she's
okay.
a pretty lady.
Her personality,
know?
like from like interviews and stuff, she seems funny.
yeah.
I think the only role I actually liked her in was in The Greatest Showman. But every time I saw her, I was like, "You're nah." I
Yeah,
can't-
she's
I
probably
can't
not
get
my
behind
cup of
that.
tea, but to say
Yeah.
that you have Zendaya as your girlfriend, not too many people can say that.
That's
so,
pretty
I mean,
good.
that's not
Well,
bad.
like,
That's,
well,
That's
it's
not bad.
I
they're,
mean,
they're married, right?
When you're a
Zendaya
young
and
man
Tom-
and
Zendaya
you're
and Tom
coming up in
Holland
the
are
world
married,
and you get connected to someone like that and you're able to settle down and get married and she respects you and she
she
ain't
makes her
cheating
own
and she
money.
ain't doing
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
like
she makes her own
she's
money.
happy to
She don't
be
got
in
no
your
leash
and
off
you're
you,
like
yeah.
and you're like fucking 6 inches shorter than her, bro.
Yeah.
Just
Dude, if
represent,
I'm
man.
Spider-Man, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, well,
dude.
I
I'm
mean, don't get me
Spider-Man,
wrong.
dude.
Like, I mean, that's like the Chris Evans shit. You know, if you're Spider-Man, you're Spider-Man. You're gonna be seen by that all your life. But then you have Zendaya. As
I
your
don't think I'm
girlfriend.
gonna see Chris Evans as Captain America all my life. Like,
You don't like Chris Evans? As,
no, I
I
like
dig
him.
it.
I like
don't.
him as Captain America. I just
But see,
I just
you know
don't
what's
think
funny?
he embodies Captain America. You know, like
Yeah, I've never. Whenever I see him in something else, I don't think Captain America for some reason. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I see him in Knives Out, and
oh no, he's
a good
just
actor.
a dude.
Yeah, I see him. He's an actor, so like that's different. Tom Holland is gonna have a problem with me.
That's
not
it, he's
seeing him as
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, like he's
Yeah,
gonna have a
because he
problem with me,
chooses
bro.
the dumbest fucking movies
oh,
outside
I
of the
don't
Marvel
think so.
universe.
I think Tom Holland is not a definitive Spider-Man. I don't see him as Spider-Man. Like I think he's a good actor. When I'm watching him, I'm like, okay, he's that Spider-Man. But to
I
me, Tobey
only
Maguire is
like
the
him as
GOAT.
Spider-Man.
And it's
Look,
like,
we'll pop with this, right? Because
Yeah.
it's already reaching the 2 hour, already done, already pretty much. Who is your favorite Spider-Man and why? And give me like,
Does it have to be live action?
well, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, are we talking?
I was
What
gonna
do
say
you
the
mean,
animated,
bro?
the animated Spider-Man, the '90s animated
no.
Spider-Man, yo.
The dad one, or what?
Yeah,
yeah,
the '90s animated Spider-Man. I would
he
watch
has some of
that
the best
before
lines, dude.
Yeah, I'd watch.
some of the
I'd
best-
watch.
That wasn't
shit
even the real
that.
Spider-Man.
It was. The
He was a
real one.
clone, and they fucked the whole series up. Remember?
Listen, when
We don't talk about that though.
Yeah,
We're talking
we don't. No, please don't talk about that.
when we're talking about like Tobey Maguire and
Yeah, we're talking
Tom
about the three.
Holland.
We're talking about the three, and not the Japanese one. We're not adding the Japanese one from the 80s or so.
I mean, I don't know. I guess Toby. I really don't care for any of them, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, because we had someone ask that in the comments earlier. I think Adrian asked like, who is our favorite? Relic, what about you, brother?
It's definitely Tobey Maguire. I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the best comic book movies that
No.
has ever been adapted. You know, like it's one of the more truer movies that they pulled out of the comics. I think Tom Holland, it's his own Spider-Man. It's has nothing to do with the comics. I would argue that he's a Spider-Man in name only. You know, like his character has really nothing to do other than now, whereas the reboot where he's kind of lost everything. Andrew Garfield, I think he was robbed. He had crappy writing. he stole the show in No Way Home. Like I think he was a good
I was
Spider-Man.
gonna say that. I changed my answer. I'm gonna go with Garfield, and only because of Far From Home, right? Is the last one?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Only because
Huh.
out of all three of the Spider-Man, when he saved Zendaya,
That was a good. That was a
that
good.
did something.
Yeah.
That did something for me,
Yeah.
dude. Like
He
that.
sold
Yeah,
this
like it
really
connected
good,
me to
didn't
the
he?
comic of when Gwen Stacy died. Like it didn't connect me
Exactly,
to the
so, like-
movies.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah, but I
connected me
do
to the
think-
movie, and
yeah.
that one. So he'll get my best. He'll get my.
Yeah,
my-
every time I talk to people
Yeah.
about this, I'll always say Andrew Garfield, and I think he is the actual closest version to the 616 Spider-Man. And I think Tom Holland's character is going to be the perfect Spider-Man who dies and introduces Miles Morales, because he knows everybody's secret identity that's a villain. So if an Osborn shows up, if anyone shows up with a name that he met in the Doctor Strange movie or whatever, he already knows who they're supposed to be because he's been introduced to him, and everybody doesn't know who he is. He's the ultimate Spider-Man, literally the ultimate Spider-Man. And Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is good, but he reminds me of he'll eventually become the mutant Spider-Man, the one that turns into like the 6 arms and the spider face. Like, since he does the organic shit, that's where they were going with. I think
Yeah.
Sam Raimi wanted to eventually get to that character.
No,
and
they're doing that
that'll
with
be
Tom
like its
Holland
own
actually.
version. Huh?
They announced they're doing that with Tom Holland, and Tom Holland.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna kill that motherfucker so fast, dude. The moment they're gonna kill Tom Holland, and we're getting Miles. He's just it's too perfect. Like, he now becomes Spider-Man, and he knows every villain's name. Like, he knows every villain before they become the villain. It would have been different if he had his memory wiped, but he can't even get a Green Goblin.
Who knows if Marvel even remembers that movie came out, because they tend to like forget about all the lore before, and then they make a movie.
They're not gonna overlook that. That movie made
know.
that movie made like $1 billion. They're gonna overlook that movie.
Yeah, but
You know what I
Sony
mean?
got
Like, they
most
ain't
of that
overlooking
money.
that shit.
The Sony got most of that money, man. Like,
But I literally think
Tobey Maguire still.
that's
the
why it's
best
crazy.
one.
I know we did a show a long time ago, dude. Me and Brian, and we were talking about No Way Home, right? Because of the 3 Spider-Man. And I told him, I think I told Brian, I was like, I'm so surprised Tobey Maguire didn't die. Like, I feel like he's the character that's going to martyr as the pillar in the Spider-Man universe. Like, he's one that will die in the web story, right? And Tom Holland's Spider-Man will eventually die also. And the original Andrew Garfield Spider-Man will be like the definitive Spider-Man of the Secret Wars and all that shit.
Well, you gotta remember
literally
that
think
Sony owns all the rights to Spider-Man, so like they want to make money off the Spider-Man that they are attached to,
Yeah, of
which
course.
is Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So they're probably gonna want to make more movies. Like if Tobey Maguire dies in Doomsday, they're gonna bring him back to life at the end of the movie.
Well,
And
they're
then
gonna Web
going
Warrior
get
that
Sam
shit.
Raimi and do Spider-Man 4. Huh?
Yeah, they're gonna Web Warrior that shit. That's what I'm telling you. They're gonna Web
Yeah.
Warrior. That's
Yeah.
money to be made. If
Maybe.
if they release the Spider-Verse 2 or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
that movie will 100% with a live action Spider-Noir, you're gonna get a fucking Web Warriors movie. You will get an official, like,
Yeah.
those weird what are they called? I can't think, from the Spider-Verse comics. The weird vampire Morlun and all those guys.
Where Morbius comes in?
No,
What are you
Morlun, the
talking
guy
about?
that eats the spider totems and silk. And do you remember that comic book, The Real Spider-Verse, the real Spider-Verse comic book without Miles?
Is that right after they did all the clones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
know
I
what
think
you're
they'll
talking
eventually.
about. I don't know.
get
I
it. They
don't
have to
remember
get
the
it.
names.
Sorry. Yeah, it's crazy. But boys, I think we've officially reached our time.
No, sir.
Relic, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you for coming on the show. Brian,
Sir.
I appreciate you. We finally got your screen. We're back,
Yeah,
baby.
sir, we're back, baby.
We're back, baby. Stone Cold. Fucking beer and all that shit. I don't know. I don't watch wrestling, or he drinks milk or whatever it is. Yeah, man. I
Close
appreciate both of you guys. Relic, what you got coming on this week, man?
I'm just good. I do mainly live streams. I have a few videos. I did a live reaction to Spider-Man Noir. It's the thing I'm most excited about, other than Highlander this year. That's
Oof.
like
oof.
fantasy pop culture, you know.
I'm waiting for Queens,
but-
bro. Here we are,
Yeah.
fighting for the man.
I'd be happy if Queens isn't a part of it, just because I want it to have its own identity. Like I want like new music. but I'm okay with it as well. But hey, Brian, it was awesome to meet you. I actually really enjoyed our conversation.
Likewise.
And
Oh, you guys went wild, bro. You guys went, and I was like, man, you guys gotta butt heads. But
I had to.
yeah,
I had
that's
to
how brothers talk, fool.
I had to introduce Relic to a proper The Average Boys show.
Fucking
Man. I gotta
episode,
grill
that
him a
was
little
dope.
bit. I gotta grill him a little bit about some things. No, I had enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed
no,
it.
you guys did
No,
excellent.
like,
bro.
and that's how it should be. Like, we should be able to have different opinions and still be able to hang out and chill. It shouldn't be like,
Nah, man, we gotta
because you
jump off when we
believe
get mad like
this,
Derpy.
F you, man, you know.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, man, we gotta jump off and get mad like Derpy. Nah, Derpy wasn't mad. He's cool. He's probably sleepy, man. That guy sleeps all the fucking time. He been hitting me up for like 2 weeks about, oh man, I want to do the show. I want to do the show, Chris. Come on. Boom, crashes out. Fucking falls asleep. He's my boy, man.
Like, I was actually I was waiting to come on, but I got like hella sick, and I was gonna watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms because I'm not watching Super Bowl. And then when you texted me like, oh yeah, it's probably gonna be slow because of the Super Bowl, I'm like, man, forget the Super Bowl. Why do I care about the Super Bowl, man? Like, I want Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I want to get on the show. I want to talk about, like.
I think
good
that might be the
times
next
and-
show,
yeah.
The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I heard it's crazy.
Have you not watched?
Nah, we
it
didn't
yet?
ignore the show, Javi. We saw you, bro. We saw you. Saw you, boy. Yeah, we saw you. It's good to see
We
you.
just
bro.
didn't get to the chat. Do you want to go through the chat before we end off? It's your show. I don't.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's fine. I mean,
I'm gonna let you
Javi
guys-
was jumping in and he was speaking
I'm gonna let
truth. He
you
was
guys-
talking about Brian and
I was gonna
stuff.
say, yeah, I engaged with Javi. I engaged with
Yeah,
with the chat. Hell yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Shit.
really appreciate you
I
guys
didn't
here.
read any of the names because I just kind of like when they brought up something like I don't know who said it. They said like, "Oh, I probably hate Alien." Or Predator.
Adrian
First of
Adrian
all,
was
I
saying
love
you were a
Alien.
fucking hater. That was funny. I was laughing, bro. I was
I was
laughing.
like, "F you, man." No,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
that was
love the
fucking
Predator
funny.
movies, the first two with Arnold
Yeah, yeah.
Schwarzenegger and the second one, and then I love the two Alien movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Hunter,
I'm all-
Iggy,
I'm all right
Adrian,
with
you
the
guys, we
sequels, yeah.
appreciate everybody from the answers. We appreciate you guys for jumping on. We come on every week. We don't make money doing this. We just fucking come out and just do this for the love of the
Man,
sport.
I
baby.
wish I made money doing this.
It'd be cool. I wish I'd make like $20. I could get bread or some shit. You know what I mean? It'd be nice, but nah. But again, boys, thank you guys for being on. I know Sunday, everybody got their shit going on. Javi or Relic, you look like you're sweating already. So make sure
I got my little fan. I got my little fan right here.
Got your little fan and shit. Good.
Yeah.
And boys, everybody make sure you guys clean your cake holes, fucking take care of yourself. Yeah, no, Javi. Yeah, he did, bro. And we
Cake
appreciate
holes.
you all the time. Every time you come on, we appreciate you, Jav. Thank you guys for jumping in the show. Thank you for everybody in the chat for coming in and always jumping in with us. We're sorry we haven't been on a lot, but life's hard right now, man. Everybody out there, I got guys getting ready for fight camp. I got a wrestling event coming up at the end of the month. I might be off on that Sunday, just making sure because I'm gonna go commentate, and these guys rush it all.
Oh, are you gonna compete?
No, I commentate for a pro wrestling league down here. Brian's friend invited me, and
Okay.
now it's like,
Awesome.
it gets pretty good. I'd like to one day kind of like do a podcast over there, but it's so loud, dude. It's so
Yeah.
loud. So it would be cool, but yeah, if I have to miss a day, it's fine. We'll always jump on. We appreciate every one of you. To our extraordinary listeners, thank you guys so much for always jumping in, hanging out, and having a good time with us. You guys have a good week. Do good, be healthy, and we'll see you guys again here next Sunday on the Average Boys Podcast. Peace.
See you guys.
Peace.